The Saints did have the ball last in that game.
I know. I knew that was coming.
What was that final play? Did Sam
tried to air it out, but he was getting pressured in the process.
That was before we knew about the knee too.
Yeah. That was the last game
he was
played.
a warrior
that
game.
That was the last pass he threw potentially as a Fighting Saint.
Hats off to him, by the way, for fighting through that game. I think that was his
Scott too. That was the last game Scott played.
It was career high for him, or for Sam at least. So yeah, he hurt us, and then he threw for 370. So
and a losing
nearly
effort.
broke his record in the first half.
Yeah. I think he did.
He did break his record in the first half.
He did. Oh, was it barely? It was by single digits.
Yeah, it was like 2 yards. I think he beat it by, but still. I mean, but like you said, Alex, at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, but you got to have something to build on. So there was something to look back on. It's like, all right, yeah, I did that right.
You got to remember the good times, guys. There's got to be a good memory in there somewhere, right? I mean, Waldorf was a good time. You guys remember Waldorf? You guys remember Waldorf 11 weeks ago? 63 spot in the first game of the year.
As Joe's scrolling back on the schedule.
St. Francis, Indiana, a shutout, a 17-0 victory. That had to feel good. Come on, like
back in the days of Legion of Zoom.
Oh man.
Hey, you know what? Say what you want. That defense has done its thing all year.
Yeah. No, the defense hasn't let me down.
No, not at all.
They always
defense hasn't let me down. Yeah.
They always kept us in it for the most part.
Roosevelt. I mean, that was like the epitome. That was like the epitome of like secondary's outstanding.
Somebody else do something.
Everything else, I don't know about that.
Well, if you had fun watching though, right?
I was crying in my hotel room.
All right. Well, what's happening over here? Jake and Matthias are having a full-on battle for the microphone.
Bro went to grab the mic, and then I didn't know if I wanted to say something, so I
give him the microphone.
I made the motion to
pass
grab
the microphone.
Hold on, let me finish explaining. I went to grab it, and then he pushed it at me.
Pushed it at you.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to push it back to assert my dominance.
Oh.
And he didn't take it, so.
Wow.
Go ahead, Matthias.
Big moment.
Literally copied the exact thing I was going to say. The exact same thing.
He broke it.
That was him in his phone. That was him in his phone.
No! He's got to hold it the whole time.
So, for the listeners at home, the microphone has
Someone billed Jake.
The microphone has fallen off of its arm. There's a screw that is missing.
Hold on.
And now Jake is going to... I'm going to leave that microphone on, by the way, so we can hear everything that's happening over there.
Go ahead.
Jake screwing it in. Matthias is holding it steady. Two-man job.
Make sure it's steady before you screw it in.
Let it go.
Let it go. Oh.
Hey, we fixed it.
Nobody's clapping for
Honestly,
you.
that probably is me. I was kind of yanking the mic a lot in that segment, so yeah, that's probably on me.
It's definitely on you. Well, if you want to look back at the last time these two teams met up, that's St. Francis and Judson. Fighting Saints 56-26 victory. Carl Bew was 10 of 12 for 155 yards and a touchdown. He ran for 170 yards, won himself an MSFA Player of the Week. Do we see a repeat performance like that on the ground? Anybody?
Against Judson?
Yes.
I'm going to go with yes.
All right. Braden, do we run the football a lot this week, or do we let Carl try and do his thing? Do we see some other people that we haven't seen much of this year? Do we see Owen McGuire on the field?
Baby.
Do we see some weird trick plays? Do we see the coaching staff try to have a little fun here with this last game of the year?
I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I mean, Judson has given up 500.8 yards per game to this point. I mean, they gave up 541 yards last week to St. Ambrose. So, I mean, I could totally envision it's the last game of the year.
Matthias, you have a question.
Looking to have a little fun. Matthias?
Joe, what would you have to say about those statistics for Judson? If you were a Judson fan, would you think that those were good for your football team, or would those be bad?
They were not good.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I guess you learn something every day.
Yes, we are making fun of Joe.
Slacker, don't show up, but we're going to make fun of him. That's what it is.
Braden, carry on.
No, but I could totally envision, us going out, having a little fun. There's not much to lose, not much to gain. We're pretty much just looking to go out with a bang to end the season. We know what Carl can do. I don't really think there's anything that he can't do. So we have the feeling out process has pretty much been completed. I'm glad that hopefully the growing pains are over to an extent for Carl. He faced, like Jake said, not so tactfully, his first, talented team that he faced. And
I think that was less tactful than what Jake just said.
Yeah, probably, but we're we're journalists. We got to say it how it is every once in a while. And, feelings shouldn't be hurt if what is being said is true.
I use the word journalist very lightly in this room.
Yep, me as well. But
I'd say reporters at some points. Definitely not journalists.
I think this is more analyst territory.
Yeah. This is Pat
Yeah.
McAfee, but worse. I think that's what this is.
This is definitely Pat McAfee. But dude, we could totally be the next Pat McAfee show.
Guys, we should start a podcast.
We should start a podcast. Guys, we could
What if I wore a tank top?
we could totally be the next Impractical Jokers, guys. That could be us. Boo that joke.
He's
Boo that
booing
joke.
himself.
When you make a bad joke, you make a bad joke. All right, we're gonna step away. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little more.
Tell him to make a bad joke right now.
Oh, we'll be right back, and we'll talk a little bit more about Carl Bew and his future with the program. You're listening to the Sports Saturday pregame show right here, Saints Radio, WCSF Joliet, 88.7 FM.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. Let's ask, can we stay? Can you take me higher?
Welcome back, Sports Saturday pregame show. Alex Melcars, Jake DiLorenzo, Matthias Warner, Braden Kidd, Joe Medea, all here with you on Saints Radio, WCSF Joliet, 88.7 FM.
Mic number 2 almost just went down.
Yeah, I
on
almost
today.
just smacked the heck out of my microphone. That was almost bad. Let's see how high Carl Bew can take us this week, huh? Come on, the puns are back. One more time! Yes! They never left.
That had nothing to do with his name. It just had something to do with the song.
Yeah, it's still a pun. There's one pun you can do with Carl's name. Beautiful. He's a beaut.
Let's all be quiet and
He's
just
a
let
beauty.
him sit and think about what he's saying.
That's it. Those are the puns.
Those are the only captions we can come up with.
Those are the only 3 I've used on
I
at
know.
USF Saints.
Yep.
That's right. If you guys did not know, you're talking to the admin of at USF Saints
At USF Saints, follow it on Twitter.
and Instagram.
And whatever else you want to follow it on.
Probably
USF
don't
Saints
follow on
YouTube.
Facebook. Yeah, I think it's USF Fighting Saints.
You could subscribe to whatever it is on
That's
YouTube.
true. You could listen to Jake DiLorenzo's amazing volleyball play-by-play.
Do you guys want to hear what I did? Can I tell him? Can I tell him?
Yes, you can. This
So-
is an awesome story.
You guys know I'm a big UFC guy, correct? One of my...
yes.
Go ahead, Britt. Yep, okay. So, one of my favorite fighters, Charles Oliveira, right? We have a lady on the volleyball team, Gabriella Oliveira. Who's a pretty important player. You know, you say her name a lot.
She is one of the better outside hitters in the
Yeah.
conference, her and Dez.
You know, you say her name a lot because, you know, she makes a lot of plays during the game. You know how many times I almost called her Charles Oliveira and had to, like, stop myself after saying ch and have to call her Gabby. So, like, there
This
was
is
like,
on a live broadcast.
yeah, like live broadcast.
Tens of people are watching.
Already, I don't know how to call volleyball. Like as it is, this is my Dave Laquetta, athletic director here at University of St.
Thank
Francis.
you,
He
Dave.
just threw me to the wolves. So I
got thrown to the wolves a few weeks ago too. All right, I don't want to hear it.
Alex is a more talented broadcaster than I am.
No. I had to call 2 consecutive soccer matches. All right, it was an Alex Melcars Yap for 180 minutes challenge.
180 minutes of
Yap,
soccer.
soccer yapping.
Yeah,
You try making 180 minutes of soccer entertaining.
I couldn't do it. I started talking about football.
I
American.
think at one point I started to break
football.
down how the flag was waving because it was so windy.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, it's whipping. Look at it. It's whipping. And on the corner, Fernandez Arango centers and it goes wide.
Man, it's sad. That's sad. But both the soccer teams are done now too.
Yeah, and the volleyball team.
Yeah, man. Oh, jeez.
Football is the last fall sport standing.
Yeah. And then we go to basketball, baby.
We've already gone to basketball.
And then
Heck of a start
baseball.
for John McGinty's crew, by the way. Heck of a start for that was very Pat McAfee. That was very Pat McAfee. What? That was very Pat McAfee.
We can't mention that on the show. Though.
I can't wait to listen to your guys' basketball play-by-plays.
Dude, we did good last
Yeah,
year.
it's
You
good.
guys did incredible last
It's going to
year.
be a good time. We have to circle the dates now. Jake and I have to sit down. He actually has to say yes to a date.
Okay, here's the thing. if you are a passionate NFL fan and he wants to drag you out to Illinois State when your team is playing a football game and you say, yes, let's go, you're not a passionate NFL fan. I don't care about what anybody says.
You can watch the game in a car.
I'm not watching a Seattle Seahawks game in the car. A game that we can actually win.
Oh!
So guess
I'm
who's
giving you an
not going to Illinois
opportunity
State?
to sit.
At a Division I press table.
Yes!
No, I don't want to do it.
Awesome!
I don't
That's
want to
sick.
do it. I want to sit in my bed in my Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey and watch the Seahawks.
Oh, so you're a loser. So we're in bronze.
How? What
So
is
we're
he
in copper.
talking about?
You're a loser.
What does that even mean?
You're a loser.
How?
You just are.
Back it up with evidence.
You're sitting in your room on your own watching a football game.
Do you guys want to come over and watch football with me? Like what? I'm not asking you. You're going to be at Illinois State at a Division I.
Not if you don't come!
No, go ahead. You go. You go. You show the world how good you are at calling basketball games.
don't wanna
and
do
I
it
will
by
sit
myself.
in my dorm. I will sit in my dorm and happily watch my football team.
Can you call in to the show?
No.
This is not just the last panel of the year. This is the last panel ever. Everything's falling apart.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, you know what? No more
Sports
pregame show. No more.
This is the Sports Saturday Civil War. I'm your program director, Braden Kidd. We're signing off.
It's Jover.
Captain America versus Iron Man, but except in this case, I'm Captain America. Oh, wait, he won anyways. Yeah, I'm Captain America. And
You're Captain America?
I beat you and your whole team.
No.
What are you going to say?
All right, we have not talked a single bit of Saints football, but I have a huge question. If there were to be a civil war, would Jake be Captain America or would I be Captain America? Discuss.
Go ahead, do it.
Take a side.
Hey, can I say something first? Can I say something first?
No defending yourself.
Sure.
Give Matthias the microphone.
I bench 225. I just want to say that.
I can also push 225, not for reps.
Okay, I want you both to know that played absolutely zero factor in my decision.
Good.
Matthias, you look like you have stuff you want to say.
Let's please stop the worst conversation that's ever been aired.
This is
Okay, well, I'm not going to be a party pooper like that.
You can be Captain America. I want to be Hawkeye. That's it.
Hawkeye's pretty badass. I like Hawkeye.
No, he's not. Come on, Hawkeye. He shoots bow and arrow.
That's sick!
He can only hold 12 of them.
He did a show with Haley Steinfeld or whatever her name is.
He can only shoot 12
So
arrows.
Carl
and then he
Bew
just
has
runs
played
out.
some very good football and some very not good football. Did we find the quarterback of our future, Braden?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm praying. I mean, I know we talked about it a little bit off the air. I don't know. Should I bring this up?
No.
No.
Bring
no.
what up? What are we doing?
No, it's okay. Alex knows.
Yeah,
So I'm
It's
not
more
gonna.
privileged information.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not
It's
going to say
in the
it.
best interest to keep it to ourselves.
So we're
Yeah.
not going to open up the floor to the audience and let them know what's going on?
No, this is privileged
Do we
information.
not like our listeners?
No,
Alex?
we love our listeners. It's just
I think they're privy to whatever this information
I'm
is.
pulling my
Fine.
journalistic duties.
I'll say it in the most cryptic way I possibly can. We have a great talent in Carl Bew, and I hope we value him
All
to
right,
the
side
fullest
story
extent.
after this.
I know where he's going.
What do you
with this.
think he was saying?
Hold on. I kind of want to know what the other story was.
I thought we were talking about some injuries that have occurred in the past few weeks and how others have handled them.
No,
I thought that's where that conversation was going. My apologies.
No. I'm talking about the other thing. Answering again. I hope we value Carl Bew and his talent as much as humanly possible in his time here, because we have seen in his first few starts here that he can do just about anything. He can run pretty much just as well as Sam was able to.
And he slides.
Yeah.
I like quarterbacks that slide.
Which I have a funny story about that, which I'm not particularly allowed to talk about on air. So talk to me when we get out of here.
Yeah. I also know this story.
I love talking to Carl. I get a lot of inside info.
I saw the story. I saw the story. But it is really nice to, and I feel like this is low key throwing shade at Sam, but it's not.
It's not.
It's
They're
just
both
because
extremely talented.
It's two totally
100%.
different quarterback styles. One is going to put his head down and he's going to try and run you over. One's really not going to do that, right? And
you know
going
what?
forward as a younger
Props to
player,
both.
exactly. Yeah, going forward as a younger player, I'd rather have the guy that slides. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean,
gonna say.
you can't expect every quarterback to be like a Cam Newton.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Period.
Would you let Matthias talk? You keep taking his microphone.
This is so funny to watch. I'm watching a tug of war out of my right eye.
It's only a matter of time before this mic goes down again.
I need you guys to hold it and just hover next to each other. Just one hand each on the microphone. And
God, meanwhile, my life is easy over here. Joe's sitting over here cross-armed. Probably has COD Mobile up on his phone right now. He's having the time of his life.
this was certainly one of the segments of all time. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. More Sports Saturday pregame show, hopefully with more Sports Saturday talk when we come back. WCSF Joliet 88.7 FM.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
When you were here before.
We welcome you back to Sports Saturday pregame show. Name the
We
song.
like to promote the Dara program here.
Name the song. Name the song, gentlemen. Come on.
Creep by
Just like
Radiohead.
an angel.
Okay, Jake.
That's it. That's all you get. That's all you get.
Yeah, that's all you should get. All right.
Okay.
There is a football game on today, whether we like to acknowledge that or not. We should probably talk about it at least a little bit. The last time these two teams played, as I mentioned earlier, it was a blowout. But Judson did put up 26 points, which I think is their season high, correct?
Yep. And you know what? That was
Probably.
the game because that was the week after Roosevelt, correct?
Yes.
I believe. That was the game where I'm thinking, okay, we lost to Roosevelt. There's still a chance we get in that top 25 because we were 17 at the time.
Correct.
Drop down, and then we give up 26 to Judson. And then all
That's
the
what I'm
hope-
saying. Like,
all the
why
hope went out
in
the window.
God's name are we giving up?
Guys, it's the last show of the year.
342 yards to Judson.
Okay, well, credit to Aiden Edwards, 20 of 30, 222 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I think that's a good day. That might be his best game of the year.
And especially against a secondary of the caliber that we have too. I mean, that's one of those games where you go home. Yeah, I mean, you lose, but you go home with film that you love to see as a coach.
And Brandon Mackey, 13 rushes for 127 yards.
No, shout out to him for the perfect passer rating in that game.
Yeah, one of one.
1 of 1 for 1 yard, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, they did the fullback play, and Jake, I don't know if you remember this, but there were a few people in the press box who were astonished by something that has happened in the National Football League multiple times.
A tush push.
No, it was the handoff to the fullback or the running back, who then does a jump throw to a lineman.
Yes,
Owen
Derrick
McGuire
Henry.
threw a pass in that game?
Yeah,
No.
he threw one. He did. He threw
Oh
one.
yeah, Owen McGuire did. Yeah, that's right. It was an out route, and he missed it
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was.
Sorry.
When was that?
against Judson, sir. It was late in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
I did an oopsie daisy.
I couldn't remember if Carl came out for a couple of plays or what.
No, yeah,
but-
it was once the game was decided.
okay, yeah. But I mean,
There were some in the press box that were like, "What are they doing, man?" I'm like, that's pretty standard.
Yep.
Like in terms of football trick plays, that's extremely mild. I feel like.
Derrick Henry literally.
Yeah, I was
I think
gonna
he's
say-
done it for like the last 4 years.
It happens at least once a year with
Dude,
Derrick
as a
Henry.
fantasy owner, when I see Derrick Henry line up in the Wildcat, I get so excited.
It's always 2 steps forward and then a little toss to the
Yep.
tight end. That's what it is.
I love it.
Sometimes it's a big man touchdown. I think it was a big man
Jumps
touchdown.
up too, the little jump up, throw it midair.
Like the
Oh
most
my
unathletic
goodness.
looking throw, but it worked.
It works.
But I
Free
mean,
my boy.
Judson pulled it off. I mean, that's kind of what they had to do in that game to score points. I mean, the defense is playing good. You got to start pulling tricks out of your bag. And granted, a lot of those points came against second string defense. But still, I mean, if you're Joe Curry looking, you're still looking at yourself thinking, all right, well, our backups are our guys of the future,
Yep.
and they're giving up points like this to a team that they really shouldn't have been giving up points to. So, but starters played great. That's what it comes down to. And I think this game, all they got to do, I mean, they got to do the same thing, basically. They have to show people what to be excited for next year.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
And-
So give the people a show.
I'd also like to point out, and Matthias, you can comment on this as well. This Judson team
Wait,
actually
I can what?
You can comment on this as well.
Oh, okay.
The
Making sure.
Judson's offense did have some success. This is no gimme for the Fighting Saints. As much success as the Fighting Saints offense had, they did not look very good last week or 2 weeks ago now. And the Judson offense put some drives together against this Fighting Saints defense. If things do not go to plan, this is very easily a football game that can be very competitive.
Exactly. This game, even though it's the last game of the season and the Saints are coming off, like we said, not exactly their best outing, they really got to be on the lookout against Judson. I mean, I know Joe's going to get into this later, but I think that...
Do we put them on upset alert, Matthias? Is this...
Are we doing it?
I'm not
Do we
saying,
hit the big button?
Yeah, I mean, is this trap game? This smells like trap game.
Absolutely not. What? No. This is...
Come on, man.
Like, there are interdivision trap games.
Joe?
Like Miami going to New England is always a trap game. This is not
Miami,
a
Ohio?
trap game.
So,
What?
Miami's good this year.
What's he talking about?
You last week on the show.
Oh, talk about Sam Solik and where he goes to school. Yep.
My Lord. This dude's like, hold on, I need to get back to shoulder press. I'll be back with you guys in a moment.
He's hating for the gains.
For those of you at home, that was, quote, he's hating for the gains, end quote, Jake DiLorenzo.
I meant to say hating on. Now I feel like a stupid person.
Yeah, well, happens to the best of us. Joe, I know Matthias alluded to something you're going to get at later, but you can get at it now. Are you going to do what I think you're going to do in your first game back?
Yes. Hit the break at Jake. I'm taking Judson over our Fighting Saints.
This is absurd.
No, Joe,
Joe.
you just ruined it. We were going to have a clean sweep. Oh, wait, can we make him do the NFL Network, the Lone Wolf thing?
Yes.
You got to do it at the end. So actually, no, do it now because you make your pick.
He does not know what that
doesn't
is.
know what
Jake,
to
go
do.
ahead
I know
and
that.
explain it to him.
I'm not. You have to howl. So here's the thing: if we go down the line and none of the other, oh jeez.
If only
None
one
of us-
person picks one of the, for example, this week Adam Rank lone wolfed the Broncos against the Bills,
Okay, so like,
and when he made his pick, he went, "Woo!"
like you have to howl like a wolf, but
Yeah.
we all have to make our picks first. See if any of us take Judson.
So-
I'm gonna guess probably not.
Probably
just,
not, but
hey,
we have another
probably
segment
not.
for that later.
Yeah, just wait. Just
Just
wait.
wait.
will.
You
I will.
You will probably be howling. All right. So. All right.
This really is the last show of the year.
You can tell the wheels.
We're just having fun. You
Yeah,
know?
the wheels have fallen. It's funny. We're just having fun, but we have basketball shows to do,
I know.
which I'm sure are going to be shorter shows, but we do have basketball shows to do in the future here.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope all our listeners come back for those because
And the doubleheader last year was electric.
we love ourselves some Nick Jacobs, but out on the road for those games, it will be myself, Jake, maybe some Matthias, maybe some Braden. Who knows? Who knows? And then, of
I
course, some
loved having-
combination of them will be in the studio as
and
well.
my USF polo.
I
courtesy of
love
Dave
having the
Yes.
full studio panel. Me, Matthias, and Joe here. You guys on site. The doubleheader last year, that was electric. The women
good
won. The women won by like 100.
You shouted out Dave DiLorenzo and all
Trinity
his
game. Yep,
yes,
the
and
Trinity
all his
The man who does
relations.
all the
He
relations.
does all the relations, yeah. Now I know what position he holds, like for sure. So you can just stop making fun of me now. 'Cause Now I know. Now I know what my dad's job is. So
I can't. But isn't that in the tape that you kept?
it is. I listened to it.
Yes. I submitted for an intercollegiate broadcasting system award.
Oh man,
My dad does all the relations.
that is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I am bringing a trophy home to WCSF if it's the last thing I do.
This is the greatest moment of my life. I didn't know that what is what happened, but that is just beautiful.
So trap game or what?
I say no. I say no trap game.
What do we expect out of the quarterback position, though? You asked me, Alex. What do you expect? Any surprise in this game? Do you think Carl's just going to ride it out, play the whole game? Do you think we see some Owen? What do we
I think we'll see mostly Carl. I do think we have it on pretty good authority, and Jake reported this earlier that there's a good chance that we see some other characters come into the game on Saturday.
You know, saying we're not journalists, we're reporters.
Yes.
All I've done this year is report.
True.
That is what I've done.
Thank you to Elvia Cardenas, the program director.
No, wait, did I get
USF,
it?
Anthony Musiala.
Where is it?
You did it. It's
station
there, I think.
Manager. A big thank you to Dave Laquetta, director of athletics over at USF, for allowing us to come out here and broadcast this afternoon's matchups. And of course, a big thank you to you, the listeners. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, Jake. What do you got for
One
me?
more thing. Happy early birthday to Dave DiLorenzo.
Yes.
Tomorrow is the famous birthday of the St. Francis Public relations, government relations. He does a whole lot of relations for the university. But love you, Dad. Happy early birthday.
All right, and on that note, I think that was a good one. Jake, get home safely. Enjoy the trip in the snow. I know I won't. For everyone at WCSF,
Matthias was giving me the money sign as
Dude,
I
we
said
were
that.
still doing the post game, and you guys had like gotten McDonald's. You guys were like on the interstate on the way home. We were still going.
I'm so sorry to cut you off, Jake, but you were saying
was a glorious
We
day.
have it on good authority that we're
is.
going to see some other people in today's game.
Yes, other people. If this game goes how I think it's going to go, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I mean, I don't think it's really a question. I don't know where Joe's getting this whole trap. I don't know where we're getting that sense from. This is not a trap game like whatsoever.
So your definition of trap game is like what? Was Roosevelt technically a trap game to you?
No.
So who is a trap game?
Is a superior team playing an inferior opponent. You can kind of gauge that however you want.
So is St. Francis not a superior team playing an inferior opponent?
They are.
So how is this not a trap game then?
Because Judson is that not great of a football team.
Okay.
This is
Report what you're going to report, and then I'll call you an idiot.
Hate to break it to you, Jake. Judson's winning today.
Joe's first show back. Have you watched?
Have you watched
these
any
games this year?
football? Yeah.
That's a good question. I have not.
Exactly. But we have it on very good.
Our host Alexander Melkars
Yeah,
has
he's up
taken
now.
off the
He's up.
headset.
That was good.
Joe's ready to fly, Eagles, fly. Am I right?
Oh,
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it.
E-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Yeah, but very good authority through sources in the USF Rec Center that we will be seeing a bit of a changing quarterback if the game goes how they expect it to go, which I'm pretty sure is the same feeling that we have here. But should be seeing some Owen McGuire.
do you happen to know how Carl is holding up? I mean, it's no. We watched the game a couple weeks ago. Like he was getting banged around by some. He was getting banged around by some linemen last game. Like
Brayden is alluding to some big hits that Carl took in the last game, one of which brought him out for a few plays and brought Owen McGuire in. Carl eventually returned, but afterwards threw a couple of picks.
Yes,
Carl is in much better physical condition now than he was last week.
while getting banged up by the linemen, Carl, he should be fine. I mean, we've seen all the hits Sam takes. I mean, here's the thing. You can take hits like that, and they're going to add up eventually at some point, but it ain't that point yet. That's very obvious. But we will see him start this game. Hopefully we see a little bit of Owen McGuire magic, and then, who knows, maybe some Christian Owen, David Yamensky. We'll see.
I could go for Christian Owen's touchdown. I think that'd be kind of sick.
I wouldn't mind it.
That'd be
Because
pretty
he's
amped.
a senior. This is it for
Yeah,
him.
this is it. Swan song for my fellow Oswegoan.
No touchdown. No touchdown. That's all you need to do.
Only one. All right. We're going to take a break, come back, get our predictions, and then Matthias will have the final word after that. This is the Sports Saturday pregame show, well off the rails. Saints Radio, WCSF, Joliet. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. WCSF Joliet, 88.7 FM. Come on!
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Said she tired, little money, need a big boy. Pull up 20-inch blades like I'm Lil Troy.
Welcome back. Sports Saturday pregame show. Jake DiLorenzo is dancing over there. He joins myself and Matthias Warner, Braden Kidd, Joe Medea. The second to last segment of the football season version of the Sports Saturday pregame show. And Jake had a very before we get to the picks, Jake had a very controversial take during the break while we were off air. We were discussing off the show Jason Kelsey's bid for
live with this
sexiest man of the year, and he was quite distraught when he relayed the news that he did not get it. Jake,
I don't
your comment.
understand who was the guy that got it? Patrick Dempsey? How did he win it over Jason Kelsey? Jason Kelsey plays NFL football. What does Patrick Dempsey do? Acts in bad Hallmark movies? Jason Kelsey Should have won. He's robbed. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you know what? You're standing on business, and I respect that.
Staying on business.
No, I'm a man that stands on business. All right, let's get a check of the records. Braden is 5 and everybody's 5-3. All right, because obviously we took that week off, and we all took the Saints last week because we are blindly in love with them. In terms of the over/under, I think the over hit. Correct? 50. Did it hit? It was 35-7. So no.
Well, no. What was the line?
Was it 55.5?
Guys, you didn't write this down?
I think I did write it down. So I think the under hit.
You think you wrote it down?
No, I do. I said 55.5. So that's what we're going with.
This guy.
So Jake is 6-1-1. I am 4-3-1.
What do I get for winning this? Because I'm going to win it. So what do I get?
You get to be Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh, no! Braden's 3-4-1. Matthias is 2-4-1. Joe is 1-0 and 0, I think, and 1-0.
7-0-1. What?
What? Congratulations to you, Joe.
13-0-0 is Joe Medea's official.
Joe Medea. So
The LeVar Ball of this segment.
Yeah.
I never lost.
Braden, you had a line for us.
52.5.
All right.
Over.
All right.
We are going to score that by ourselves.
Okay. All right. So it's up there. It's out there for the taking.
I'm just saying, we're averaging
Joe-
31 a game. They're averaging
Joe,
14 a game.
You're winning in terms of win percentage, but in terms of physical win numbers, you're in last place. You'll go first.
Judson, 34,
Okay.
28.
Okay.
Boom.
All right, Joe.
Okay.
Hey, get ready to.
Was that really worth cracking your phone screen over?
If you're the
If
last.
it makes Jake mad, it was worth it.
I don't really care.
Is that an over? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Oh, calculator. I got it.
Get it out. Get it out. All right. Next in wins for the over/under, Matthias with 2.
Guys, my phone's going to die.
Give it to Matthias. Give the microphone to Matthias.
He's worried he's going to break it. Relax.
All right. Matthias, your pick.
I am also going with the over.
Okay.
I was tempted. Joe was making some very tempting arguments earlier for Judson, but in the end, I think I am going to go with the Saints. What did we say it was? 55?
52.
52.5.
52.5. I got the Saints 42-14.
Okay.
Jake, before you break it again?
We go to Braden next. Braden. Well, you have 6 wins. You get to go last.
We
dude.
have to save the long ramble for last.
Yeah.
Yeah, much like Matthias, I was very tempted by the points that the guy who never watches football was making. He seems like a really reliable source. So,
Oh no!
I was going to say, are we talking about Joe?
However,
You're just gonna sit there and take that, Joe?
Joe's got intuition.
Yeah.
he really does.
He knows the game.
That's more valuable than.
I mean, he did.
common football knowledge.
He did
knower.
silently call all of our losses.
He does know who
So-
Patrick Mahomes is. He knows who
this is
that
true.
is.
NFL reference. Marcus.
First of the day.
We
Second.
made it to the
Second.
last segment.
Second.
Hey, I mentioned Cam Newton,
No,
he did it first.
Yeah, he did it first. He did it first.
Derrick Henry.
And Derrick Henry.
the Wildcat.
All right.
Man, maybe we weren't so good this week. Good try, guys. Hey, we're not going to make any NBA references during the basketball pregame shows, right? Right? Yeah, we're definitely also going to make. They're going to make tons during the baseball season as well, which I will not be a part of on the air.
Yeah.
It'll be a real shame when you guys,
I won't even be on that in the air.
why not?
I have to work your games.
You can still do the pregame show, you nerd.
We're never doing a pregame show. For who? For Alex at Milk Cars?
Hey, man.
No.
Someone's got to ride the bench, and nobody does it better than me.
We're only going to highlight you. We're not going to highlight anyone else. We're going to highlight
Returning
you.
to the show this week, backup second baseman Alex Melkars. Alex, you got into one game this week.
Alex, your 7th show in a row. How's it feel?
Hey, man, it's great. I think I got 2 at-bats this week, and I walked in both of them.
Alex, you have more appearances on this show than appearances
All right.
in the season.
Nope.
That was a joke. Come on.
Nope.
Take it like a man.
I will pull up my numbers right now. I'm going to pull up
He
my
actually
numbers.
had pretty good numbers.
I'm
I
pulling
can't
up my
even lie because we've had this conversation before. He does have pretty good numbers. But
It has to happen.
guess who hit better in summer ball?
You played in the Swila.
I played in the
You played in the worst possible league in the state of Illinois.
Do you want to hear what I did? First 4 games, no hits. I went like 0 for 10. 0 for 11. Then I went on an 8 for 8 streak. 8 at-bats, 8 hits, including a home run and a double. 0 for 15 for the rest of the year.
I had the 9th best average on the team at 295. I had a 677 OPS. I appeared in 30 games.
Oh!
30 games. Had 3 doubles. And I got on base at a 333 clip.
Joliet's own Leury Garcia.
That's right.
Plus hitting. Because Leury couldn't do that.
Actually, I'd say minus the hitting because he put one out to center field and I flicked one over the fence at Beecher.
He can't. Yeah, but he can't do anything else. It takes up our well, not anymore.
Hey, greatest baseball moment of my lifetime.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to go with an
You
over.
still haven't made your pick yet? You yell at me for rambling.
I haven't said a word.
Yeah, we kind of did the rambling there.
No, we didn't. Don't
Anyway, I am taking the over. I have the Saints hitting them by themselves. I think we go for 500 plus yards of offense in this game.
Bang them.
They're giving up an average of 500 yards a game. If we can't do it, then geez. But 56-14, Bernie's going out with a bang.
Yeah, you said a lot about that today, Jay. I'll go next.
There will be a lot of banging in this
right.
game.
Maybe we just end the show now. Maybe we don't. Yeah, we got to wrap. Jesus. Okay.
The sisters want to use the station.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints. Saints win this one 49-21.
Why don't you throw that on?
Short,
Make sure
Bernie's
we can hear you.
55-20. I'm taking the over.
Banana all over. Jeez.
Why did Jake keep it short? I'm just sad now.
So hold on. So, Joe, I believe you were the only one to pick Judson.
Yeah.
I was, and I'm going to win.
What do you got to do?
Yeah,
You are the lone wolf.
you are the
sir.
I am the
wolf.
lone wolf.
You hear me all right?
Ooh!
1, 2. Yeah. Good engagement.
Thank you.
What?
Attaboy.
All right. This has been our terrible version of the Pat McAfee Show. Thank you for listening, or if you're not listening anymore, I'm so sorry. Matthias will have the final word when we come back. Matthias, grab the microphone.
Ooh,
He has
is
something to
Nick
say.
is Nick back from injured reserve?
Yes, Nick is back from the COVID. Nick has returned from the COVID list. He'll be out there with David Laquetta at Judson University. It'll be a good ball game when we come
What
back.
are we doing?
All right, Matthias will have the final word. Everyone's already on their way out of the studio. Great season, boys. Great season. Big day for women's basketball today, too. So if you have a chance, check that out on the YouTube stream as well. Women's basketball, CCAC Crossroads Classic. They're taking on number 5 Marion right now. 1 p.m. start. Check that out, too. We'll be right back. Saints Radio, WCSF Joliet, 88.7 FM.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF. The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF. Welcome to the Sports Saturday Halftime Show with your host, Matthias Warner.
Nick, are you there?
Yep.
Nick?
Welcome, everybody, out to Streamwood, Illinois, home of the Judson Eagles, as your Fighting Saints wrap up the 2023 season here this afternoon. Nick Jacobs with Dave LeCamp. School, Millennium Field. Saints come in with a 6-3 record. They're 2-3. We hoped at this point, when we started talking in the beginning of the year what the season might look like, there was a ton of excitement. We were hoping that this game would be a warm-up for the playoffs. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way, so we're just hoping the Saints, especially the seniors, can end the season on a bright note.
Yeah, it's obviously a very difficult past 2 weeks for the Saints, especially coming off that tough loss against Olivet Nazarene. Saints just probably their worst game of the season, 6 turnovers. And then, you just have that for the next 2 weeks. You have that sour taste in your mouth, and then you're playing a non-conference game against Judson University.
Absolutely. Judson, a little bit of a down year again as they still try to build this very young program here in the Streamwood area. 0-8 this year, 0-5 in the conference under head coach Quentin Demps, his first-year head coach. But when you talk about a guy with some football experience, Quentin Demps certainly is that guy. He's spending a lot of time with up in the NFL, a year or two with the Chicago Bears. So they got, I think, a guy they're really excited about leading this team into the future.
Yeah, and again, you see it out of most teams. We see it, in the Mid-East portion of the league with Madonna University struggling to get going. And the same thing here with Judson. And, it's just a slow building process, especially, we've said it even with Carl Bew. He's an 18-year-old freshman, and he's going up against some guys that could be 23, 24 years old if they're in their fifth or even sometimes sixth year with COVID that's been going on. And that is the biggest disparity in any sport imaginable, especially in a sport as physical as football.
Absolutely. And when we talk about the Saints and the Eagles, it should sound somewhat familiar. These two teams did play earlier this season. So they're playing again to wrap up the year. Just, you can explain it probably better than I could, being the athletic director here. How come teams have to play each other twice? I know St. Ambrose had to have 2 bye weeks. There's just a lot of intricacies with scheduling this year.
Yeah, just because, again, with the way the schedule was set up 2 years ago, and that's what you try to do. It used to be a long time ago where we would set schedules for 4 years in a row. But we lost Missouri Baptist last year, so that opened up that. And then next year, Roosevelt's going to be gone, and St. Ambrose, which we'll talk about towards the end of the broadcast with the schedule for next year. Those things are changing. And so the schedule had already been built up for the 2-year period, and it just so happened that, St. Francis probably was supposed to play Missouri Baptist the week before. Didn't happen. And they, obviously, as you mentioned, you wanted to have the high hopes going into, the postseason and not have your last regular season game end on October 28th. So the teams decided to make the decision to play each other. Judson only had 8 games at the time, and usually you want to have at least 10. The maximum is 11. So the two teams decided, hey, let's play each other because Roosevelt's playing St. Xavier today. St. Ambrose is playing Olivet today. So obviously we're the only 2 schools left that aren't playing on this November 11th Veterans Day here in Illinois.
We're going to take a time out here. They got pregame prayer going on. They're going to do the national anthem as well. When we come back, we'll have football. St. Francis did win the toss. They elected to take the ball first here on the final game of the season. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Saints football on WCSF.
Veterans Day. It was 125 years ago at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. The guns of World War I fell silent. At this time, those that are able, would you please rise, remove your caps, and kindly face the flag to the scene of our national anthem. We do so in honor of those who have and continue to serve our nation on this Veterans Day. Would you please welcome Judson senior vocalist Jade Bunhund.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
A beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner here on your Veterans Day Saturday. If you are a veteran alumni of St. Francis tuning in today, we appreciate you and thank you very much for your service. Dave, you got any veterans in your family?
Obviously, my dad was. My uncle has served in the Marines. He said those were always the toughest of the branches.
Yes,
you know, you
Marines,
always
that's
get
what they'll tell you.
that fighting and stuff like that. But yeah, all four of my uncles were in the armed forces.
Yep.
And so
yeah, me too. My grandfather was a paratrooper in Korea. His brother, so my grand uncle, I believe, was a Marine, won a Purple Heart. His picture's hanging in the Lamont VFW there, and my cousin as well, a Marine veteran. So thank you very much to all of our veterans here today. St. Francis in their traveling gold on brown, gold jerseys, brown pants, the white helmets with the outline Bernie on the side. Judson Eagles in the white jerseys, gold pants, gold helmets, blue numbers as we take the field here at Streamwood High School. And we are on a bit of a record watch here as well for the St. Francis Saints. On the defensive side, they could end up being the most prolific defensive team the Saints have ever seen today.
Yep. Got to keep it under 28 points, and I think under about 318 yards of total offense, and that'll be the fewest points and fewest yards allowed by a St. Francis defense in school history.
I believe we have Joey Tumulty back to return. Maybe not. We'll have to get a few numbers. I'm sure the players on the field will be changing quite often as the game goes on. The kick will be angled right, taken by one of the upbacks for St. Francis from the 23. It's Dan Getch who takes it toward the middle of the field. Nice tackle, but a flag comes in on the Dan Getch return of the opening kickoff. Usually in the spot of a holding. We'll get the official word out here at Millennium Field. Last game against the Eagles, St. Francis won it 56-26. That was back on October 14th. 8 touchdowns scored in that game.
On the return team.
Illegal block called on St. Francis, so they're going to march it backward 10 yards from the spot, make it a little bit more difficult for Carl Bew, who had a nice game against Judson a few weeks ago. Was 10 for 12 through the air, 155 yards and 1 touchdown, but on the ground he went for 178 and 2, leading a pretty prolific rushing attack for St. Francis. Jake Friddle, the tight end, going to get the start here on off. He'll be split off wide to the left. 2 wide receivers off to the right here with Carl Bew in the shotgun. Haley on his left hip to get this one going. Judson's bringing a house blitz, and it's a reverse. The handoff to Tumulty coming up the left side numbers. Back toward the inside it goes before he's dragged down to the 29-yard line. And as a pick of a 14 on the first offensive play of the game for St. Francis.
Really felt like if Joey stayed to the outside, he had a good block. I didn't see who the receiver, if it was Friddle on this near side, but he was holding his own. And if Joey would have just cut in a little bit instead of as much as he did, he might have even had some bigger yardage.
Joey Tumulty will be in the slot right here. Jake Friddle, the tight end, wide left. Dan Getch, the tight end, tight right. Des Jordan, wide right here for Carl Bew in the gun. Here comes another blitz from the Eagles. Bew's going to run out of it past the 35 to the 40 before he is forearm shivered out at the 42-yard line. That is enough for another first down. 2 plays and 2 first downs for St. Francis, and that's been the issue for Judson all year long. Occasionally their offense can put up some points. They got some weapons, especially in the run game, but they've had a real tough time stopping teams.
Yeah, and right now they're putting 7 right at the line of scrimmage, including their linebackers right there, and just the 2 cornerbacks and the 2 safeties back deep.
Nearing midfield, here is St. Francis for his offensive possession, and that ball is batted down as Carl Bew let that one go, and the defender making it very well known to Carl Bew that he was there staring him down on the ground, and all that's really going to do is get the juices going for St. Francis. I'm not sure if you're 0-8, you want to do so much trash talking to a team that already beat you by 30 earlier in the year, but that's what we got going on.
Yeah, I think it was Malik Rowe, one of the defensive linemen for Judson. And like I said, they're bringing all 7 guys, and that's where the Saints were able, each of the first 2 plays, were able to get things outside. If Judson can contain things inside, it could make for a tough afternoon for the Saints.
View takes the snap. Here comes the blitz again. He escapes out of it. Tried to check it down, threw it into the turf. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10 for St. Francis. Here's what you can say about Malik Rowe, though. Did you see the game that he had against St. Ambrose last week? He had 2 sacks and an interception from his defensive line position against the Bees. So he's coming off a pretty strong week. He's the team's 3rd leading tackler.
And to be honest with you, I think what Judson is doing is taking a page out of the Olivet Nazarene book right now and just bringing a ton of pressure to Carl Bew, and he's got to be really quick.
2 wideouts right, 1 left is Friddle. Looks like Haley on his right hip. Bew's going to take the snap, roll it to the right, directing some traffic, fires on the run through the hands of Des Jordan. That's going to be 4th down, so St. Francis, after 2 quick first downs, will punt it away here on the first possession.
So it'll be interesting to see what the Saints do. I don't recall Judson coming with that defensive package that they did on the first series. So we'll see if Matt McCarthy makes some adjustments after seeing Judson, how they lined up on that first series.
I think they probably will.
You might see some really quick passes to the outside.
Jeremiah Malone and Jeff Delaney back to return the punt from Brian Mayday here. Line of scrimmage is the 42. Punt goes off at the 32. Nice high spiral, sending the returner back to the 15-yard line, and is tackled nearly immediately by St. Francis.
Joey Tumulty on the tackle. I'll tell you what, a very nice play by the return man that time. This time of the year, early November, you got that sun in the southern sky, and right about now it's dangerous.
Yeah, the shadows are quite long already for St. Francis. The defense, we'll say the Judson offense going left to right into the sun, like you mentioned. 13-13 here in the first quarter. No score. First possession here for the Judson Eagles. Nigel Bruce, very dangerous running back, but it'll be quarterback option for Aiden Edwards, who will slide down at the 20-yard line for a gain of 2. Decided to keep it instead of throw it. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Eagles.
Carson Hansen for the Saints with the tackle. Almost got stuck in a difficult position. He started coming inside towards the fullback and saw that his man, which was the quarterback in that situation, was unattended, and he made the quick recovery and limited it to a 1-yard gain.
Empty backfield. Now motion will put Nigel Bruce back into the backfield with Aiden Edwards to his left in the shotgun. 3 wideouts to the left. There's the snap. Throwing that way and incomplete. Tried to lead the wide receiver on the post route around the 35, but thrown a little bit behind him and incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
3rd down, 9 yards to go.
Pretty good afternoon for football in the middle of November here. Not much of a wind. Temperature is about 51 degrees, so that's really the real feel. And very nice crowd on the far side for St. Francis coming over to up to Streamwood here in Millennium Field.
Saw them partying in the parking lot, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Aiden Edwards in the gun. Nigel Bruce on his right hip. He's going to fire into the air again, and that one's picked off. First interception of the game. It goes to Jalen Cooper over the top of the receiver. Jalen Cooper takes down his 5th interception of the season.
Yeah, team high, 5 interceptions. Jalen's had a nice senior/graduate year for the Saints. Know him along with Michael Johnson, Cam Holman, some of the other guys that stayed that extra year. Wanted a little bit more. Didn't get it, but still the opportunity to go out on a high note here this afternoon, and Jalen started that with his 5th interception of the season.
Yeah, Aiden Edwards threw his 6th pick of the season for Judson, threw it right at Cooper, and Carl B will come out starting at the Judson 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Saints' 2nd possession. Jet motion from Tumulty. They hand off to Keenan Haley in between the tackles, up past the 40 to the 39. He'll pick up 4.
And tackled by number 37.
Keenan Haley, another Saint that playing out his string here, his career. Started at Quincy, which is another brown and gold team, and after one season decided to want to return home. And Coach Curry and Coach Mack said, "Hey, we welcome you with open arms."
Absolutely. Under 12 minutes to go, just underway here in the first quarter. Haley will slide to the right of Carl Butte. 2 wideouts right, 1 left is Friddle. Snap back to Carl. Happy feet, nothing downfield. He's going to take off. There goes Carl to the right side. Collision at the first down marker. He might be a little bit shy, but it's going to be a 3rd down and short coming up for Carl Butte and the Saints.
I'll tell you what, really good job by the Saints front line that time, picking up again. It was they had one linebacker back that time, so they had 6 men rushing this time, and everybody was picked up. It allowed Carl to have a little bit more time. There was good coverage by the defensive backfield, so he was able to take it for about 5 yards and create a 3rd and 2 situation.
More blitzing coming, but they hand off to Haley. He is tracked down. There might be a face mask penalty coming. Oh, the extra flags don't fly. He's taken down at the 35-yard line. It's a loss of 2 and another 4th down for St. Francis. That's the last game of the year. Your defense is playing pretty good. We'll see what Mr. McCarthy and Coach Curry want to do here. Yeah, offense is going to stay on the field here on 4th and 3.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Judson is really bringing some speed this afternoon.
They're like, Carl, you want to beat us, you're going to do it with your arm. And you got to work quick. They have everyone at the line of scrimmage again, do the Eagles, here on 4th and 3. Snap back to Carl. Blitz is picked up. Through the air it goes. Wide open is Jordan. Caught and a touchdown. It goes 35 yards from Carl Butte to Des Jordan.
Carl Butte and Dan Getch were on the near sideline here, and Dan did a quick 5 yards and out, and both defenders were covering him. That left Des Jordan wide open on the fly pattern for the touchdown.
That's what happens when you bring everyone on the blitz. You got some mismatches outside. Looks like they're going to go for 2. Jake Friddle will line up in the quarterback spot with Jalen Cooper to his left. They're gonna snap it to Jalen Cooper. He's going to throw it to the end zone for Dan Getch. And it's good on the 2-point conversion. 8-0 Saints. Early on, 10:19 to go here against the Judson Eagles. That touchdown catch for Des Jordan, his 4th of the season, approaching 600 yards receiving. Do you know how many yards and touchdowns he had last year? Talk about a breakout year for Des Jordan. 16 catches, just 291 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. 22 catches, 580 yards and 4 touchdowns this year.
Well, the thing that's really interesting about Des, we talked about him always coming up with the big reception, and this one went for 30-some yards.
Mm-hmm.
Every catch seems to be around 25, 30
yes,
yards.
True.
And he now, coming into today, he was averaging 26.6 yards per catch.
Yep.
But it doesn't rank among the national leaders because he doesn't have enough receptions per game. You have to have 3 receptions per game, so he would have to have 27. He's at 21 coming into today. Otherwise, he would be ranked number 1 in the nation.
Okay, wow.
26.6. The next closest guy is almost 2 yards off that pace. So maybe he can have 9, 10, 12 receptions today and take over that number 1 spot.
Kickoff. Here comes the return from Judson from the 10. Chopped down immediately by the gunner. Nice play by Nick Franciscovich, the sophomore out of Lockport, with the special teams tackle. 10:14 to play first quarter. Saints on top, 8-0.
Once again, I'd like to thank our corporate sponsors, Nike, BSN Spirits, and
Here comes Aiden Edwards.
Touchdown just took 4 plays, 42 yards, and took just under 2 minutes.
And once again, a thank you to Springwood High School and U46 community.
First possession for Judson ended up with a Jalen Cooper interception for St. Francis, which led to that touchdown. It's kind of reminiscent about how Olivet Nazarene put up a lot of their points last week. We'll talk about that in a minute if we have to, I guess. The clap and the snap back to the quarterback. Hand off to Bruce. Has a big lead blocker in front of him. That was Braden Miller, the right tackle, that pulled down the line, leading the way for Bruce to pick up 3. Looks like they're going with John Odom, I believe, as the quarterback here.
Yeah, they have mixed them up. They've used 3 different quarterbacks throughout the year. Aiden's obviously the number 1 quarterback in terms of the number of attempts and yards, but they have mixed it up this year. And again, you might see that a lot on both sides of the ball. We just saw it with, Jalen tossing that 2-point conversion to Dan Getch.
Grant Alexander motions left here for the Eagles, but they keep it on the ground. I believe it's Bruce again past the 20, only there for a yard or two, so it's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Eagles.
Alan Richards.
I believe that's 16, the quarterback, correct?
Long 4 to go.
Alan Richards on the stop that time for the Saints. Number 11. Nope.
Hard to tell with the jersey bunched up if it's a 6 or an 8. We're going to go John Odom as the quarterback here for Judson. He's going to have a receiver on both, or a running back on both sides. 2 wideouts left, 1 to the right. Alexander here on 3rd and 5. Eagles looking for their first down. Not going to get it now. That's a sack for St. Francis. Carson Hansen getting in the backfield for his first sack of the season.
Well, I'll tell you what, exactly what St. Francis did, similar to Judson. Bring in the house. They had just the 4 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, everybody else across the front line. Being 3rd down and long, you felt it was going to be a pass. That's what the Saints predicted. It came true, and Carson Hansen gets the sack.
And you got the dangerous Joey Tumblesty standing at his own 41-yard line. You better watch out. And nearly blocked, but it did definitely affect the kick. And it's going to go out of bounds before the 30. That's going to be a net punt of only 9 yards.
And I'll tell you what, Keemon Reese he's blocked 2 this year. He had 1 that he just missed last week at Olivet Nazarene, wound up in a 5-yard running into the kicker penalty. But there's a guy that, again, as you move forward, he's going to be back next year, again, remaining as a grad student. But you can really design some nice punt block stuff with the speed that he has. I mean, he's all over the field. Yeah. We saw, that one week, I think it was the St. Ambrose game, he had like 18 tackles.
The adjective that comes to mind for Keemon Reese is active.
Yep.
Here's Carl Bew with an empty backfield. Fires a quick out to Joey Tumblety. It's caught, but it could not break the he does! The tackler rolled him over his own body, and he never touched the ground. He was able to pick up an extra 4 yards after that, very close to a first down. The tackler wrapped him and rolled him to the ground, but Tumblety just sat on top of the defender and never touched the ground. It's going to be 2nd down and an inch.
Yeah, he was able to maintain. Wow. He had the one hand on the ball, the other hand on the ground, never touched the ground. The side judge or the line judge right there, and was able to pick up probably another 7 yards.
Single coverage everywhere. Actually, they might have more wide receivers out there than DBs, but we're going to have an automatic first down with an encroachment penalty on the Eagles' nose tackle. Peyton Norton, the young center for St. Francis, got rolled over on that play, unless there was a false start. I didn't see that, though. Nope, it's going to be an encroachment penalty on the Eagles. Automatic first down.
Penalty goes against the Eagles, 5 yards.
Keep an eye on Gavin Day, the running back. I don't know if I've ever seen him line up as a receiver, but he's in the slot left here. And there's 3 wide receivers left and only 2 defensive backs. So we might have the same situation. Now they do split off a few linebackers to cover. Carl Bew in an empty backfield in the shotgun, and another penalty. He's got a free play here. Throws it to the end zone. It is intercepted, but it's going to come back because of the penalty. The return is on for the Eagles.
Wow. Well, look at Joey coming.
Yeah. He returned it back to the 50, but there is a penalty coming that will take that one back, and a penalty flag actually flew in late in front of the Judson bench as well.
And I think that's going to be a sideline infraction.
With that interception.
But let's see what the first penalty is. I believe it's going to come back, like you said, and it's going to be they'll probably get the sideline warning as well on this.
Yeah, there was a nice return. Did you see Joey Templeton? He was the fastest guy in the field chasing down the interception. But like we said, that was an offside penalty from the beginning. I think Carl View knew that before he threw that ball. But they're also discussing, like you said, the sideline warning here.
Yeah, the side judge threw his marker as they were returning the ball. So obviously he didn't have a clear path on the near sideline to run down the sideline. See what the referee has to say. Here we go.
Maybe. So, yep, offside on the defense.
5-yard penalty. First down. After that, we have a dead ball foul for sideline interference on Judson. That is half the distance to the goal.
Wow. They didn't even give him a warning. Sideline interference. So a 5-yard penalty makes it first and 5, but then a half the distance to the goal is going to make it a first down and 3 now for St. Francis. We're kind of low, so it's really hard to judge the yard line, but I believe it's around the 4.
Looks like, 3 or 4.
So first down and 2 from the 4-yard line here for St. Francis, deep inside Judson territory. Trying to get the clocks to start. Carl Bew fakes the handoff, keeps it on the option, turns up, shoulder down, and touchdown. Carl Bew puts the second touchdown on the board for St. Francis, extending the lead to 14-0. We'll see if they want to go for the traditional extra point. I don't think so. Dave, I see number 5 going back out there. Jalen Cooper going to come out and run the special teams offense.
We talk about this every year. The last game of the year, you throw everything out on the kitchen table, and hopefully you can have some fun with it. But you're going to see a lot of different things, and now we're seeing Jalen for the second time. Jalen is quite the athlete.
He will run it. He doesn't throw it this time, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. Jalen Cooper adds 2 more points.
Trying to think if that's the first 2 points of his career. Did he have a pick 6? I know he's had interceptions, but I don't think he's had a pick 6, right?
We're going to have to get our statistician on that.
Once again, fans, be sure to visit the Judson.
So the Saints, with 6:49 left to play in the first quarter, leading 16-0. The last time these two teams met, exactly 4 weeks ago on October 14th, the Saints scored 21 points in the first quarter. And again, in that first time, it had to do. There was a punt block at the start where I can't think. Carson Hansen recovered the fumble, recovered the block punt in the end zone. That was Keemon Reese with the block, and then there was the botched punt snap on the next play. It led to Joey Tumulty's touchdown here on this last series. A bad punt by Judson, and that puts the Saints up 16-0, a pair of 2-point conversions for St. Francis. One throwing by Jalen, the other one running.
He does have 12 interceptions in his career, but I'm looking through his career numbers here, Dave, and I don't see anything in terms of scoring.
Yeah, I believe that's his first 2 points. This kickoff by Brian Mayday goes into the end zone, and Judson will have its third drive of the afternoon start at its own 25-yard line. Now, Judson's offense, the first 6 games of the year, a total of just 40 points, Nick. And then since then, even though they've lost each of their last 3, they have averaged 25 points a game. And it started with that St. Francis game where they scored 26.
Right now, through their first 2 possessions, they only have 1 rushing yard and no passing yards. That defense for St. Francis is coming at them. Looks like Odom back at quarterback for Judson. The quick out goes incomplete.
I think they're saying complete, but the Saints want it to be incomplete.
It was right in front of this Judson bench, so they are saying it was completed pass. So there you go, but it's only there for 2 yards. So second down and 8 after the shoestring grab on the outside for Anthony Cathcart. He is their leading receiver, 40 receptions, now 41 for Judson.
Averaging about 16 yards a reception.
Joey Tumulty has 39 receptions, to give you an idea. Stepping up in the pocket, throwing across his body, it's another interception. St. Francis on the return will be around the 15-yard line. Jared King with his first interception of the season.
And he's all pumped up, man. Hey, watch him go to the sideline, get his slam dunk ready, right? There it is.
Right.
They got it ready over there. Let's see how there he goes. The one-handed slam.
Windmill,
Yeah.
classic. It's a classic. St. Francis defense has like a play school basketball hoop that they bring out to games, and every time there's a takeaway, someone gets to slam dunk the football on the sideline, and this time it's Jared King's turn, the junior out of Joliet Central, transfer from Missouri S&T, finally getting the stat in on the books this year.
Third straight possession that St. Francis will start its drive deep in Judson territory.
View in the gun, Haley on his left, two wideouts right. One of those is Tumulty in motion, fake to him. Carl right up the middle, dives for the 10 or 11-yard line, only there for about 3 yards. 5:53 to go in the first quarter, 16-0.
Yeah, the Saints get two rushing plays, 14 and 12 yards, and then 3 incompletions, have to punt on the first drive, and they've scored on each of their last 2 and have an opportunity here at the Judson 12-yard line.
2nd and 8. BU again in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. Haley stays back. Nice route to Tumulty, jab steps right, and waltzes into the end zone for the 3rd touchdown of the game for St. Francis. Joey Tumulty takes one in.
Well, I'll tell you what, very nice play that time. Carl looking for Joey. Joey puts a move on. He was being guarded pretty good there, and then put a move on to the inside. Carl throws to him, and Joey pretty much waltzes into the end zone on that.
His 10th receiving touchdown of the season. The 9 that he came in with was tied for 4th in the NAIA. Mayday will actually kick the extra point this time. Jalen Cooper, the holder. That one is good.
39 for 39. Brian Mayday trying to finish off his collegiate career with perfection on PATs. One of only 18 players in the nation to be perfect with at least 12 attempts on the season.
You want to talk about guys who are coming back next year for this team? Joey Tumulty being one of those. Now 40 catches, 10 touchdowns, so 1 in every 4 catches for Joey has been a score. It's not even the stats that really jump off the page when you talk about Joey. You just got to see him play.
Yep.
His athleticism, his quickness, his top speed is amazing.
You don't even have to say Joey. You just say
Tumulty, yeah.
And any of the 3 now. Scott has finished his career. He actually does have an opportunity, I think, to come back for 1 more year, but I think he is going to hang it up. And then, obviously, Sam back next year. Hopefully recovers from the it is a devastating injury.
Yeah.
And sometimes you read it could be a career ender for some guys, especially professionally.
The kick is a squib kick right around the ground, pops up. The return will be from about the 13-yard line for Judson. Keeps it between the hashes up to about the 24. And that is where the Eagles offense will come out. The last 2 possessions have been interceptions for Judson. They're going to try to get things rolling here offensively. I think they're going to really try to keep it on the ground with Nigel Bruce and Brandon Mackey in the final 5 minutes of our first quarter.
And you talk about Joey Tumulty during the drive up here. We talk about different things throughout the season and how different things transpired. But a guy that we hope to see back is in the recovery mode right now is Ryan Little.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, he brought an element of depth to this offense that was missed. Des Jordan was that.
Offsides by St. Francis on the kickoff.
On the kickoff.
Yeah,
okay,
so
come on, guys.
Demarked after the return.
But the passing game for St. Francis has been good all year, with Joey Tumulty being that short route guy, Des Jordan being the deep threat. But Ryan Little is kind of a lot of both. He's a red zone target. He's a big body, and he's just a sophomore too. So I'm really hoping that his recovery is going well from that devastating leg injury he suffered in the first week of the season, and hopefully he can come back and provide what he should have provided this year.
Yeah, actually, I heard a little bit as we watched this play first.
It's on the ground, and the run goes to about the 34-yard line, picking up 4. The carry for Judson, number 33, Josh Hazelwood. I think, is that 33?
Not sure.
Yeah. Again, those end of the season final game situations, you kind of never know who's going to pop in.
Get everybody in there. Get everybody in there.
Or who's switching jerseys. 2nd down and 6 for Judson after the carry. Cathcart motions to the right. They're going to keep it inside. Nice, strong run for a first down for the Judson Eagles. Tough running by Xander. No, see, I got number 6, Xander Rabone, but he's a cornerback, so that can't be right. Maybe it was Nigel Bruce, number 5.
Yeah, Nigel just came out.
Okay.
Yeah, when these guys, nowadays, the way they make these jerseys and they bunch together,
yep.
You know, you get the 9s and the 8s and the 3s all together.
New quarterback in for Judson again. He's going to keep it on the option play and go nowhere. Nick Franciscovich there to stop him for no gain.
Near the line of scrimmage.
Alan Richards there as well.
I don't think
Sophomore
the PA guy.
from Wilmington. We got a few guys. Carson Hansen from Wilmington. A few guys from that way.
55. Alan Richards.
Looks like Odom back under center. I should say behind center for Judson here. 3.5 to go first quarter. St. Francis leads at 23-zip. Judson just got their first down of the game. Snap back to Odom. Quick out to Cathcart. Caught and leveled by Matthew Perry at the 40-yard line. The completion will be a loss of 1. And Cathcart a little bit slow to get up here. The coaching staff for Judson racing out to check on him as they stop the time.
I'll tell you what,
for an injury.
That was an athletic play by Matthew Perry because he had the other wide receiver that time for Judson had good coverage. It was blocking him real well. He leaped over him and then made the tackle. And as you said, Cathcart still on the turf here at Millennium Field being tended to. Hopefully it's not a serious injury.
We're going to take a timeout as well, a 60-second timeout as they attend to Cathcart. It is 23-0. Saints on top on the road with 3:11 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to Saints football on WCSF.
Counter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF. The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu.
Third down 11.
When do you guys want it back?
Stay tuned throughout
After
the game
this.
for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Welcome back out to Streamwood. First quarter, 3:04 to go, 23-0. Saints on top over Judson here. Snap back to Odom. He's going to swing to the left. He's cut off there. Back to his right, scrambling for his life. Checks it down. It's complete. Right at midfield. Here comes some help, tackled at the 50, shy of the first down yard to gain. It's going to be 4th and 2 for Judson.
Keemon Reese with the initial hit, and then Carson Hansen finishes him off. And Judson right at midfield, 4th down play. The Eagles have not been into Saints territory this afternoon through the first 13 minutes.
They're either going to get in Saints territory or it's going to be Saints ball here because it's 4th down and 2 at the 50, and Johnson's going to go for it. Odom in the gun. Nigel Bruce on his right. 2 wideouts left, 1 to the right. Snap. Give to Bruce. Sees a hole. Jets through, and he somersaults up to the 45-yard line. He picks up 5 and a first down for Judson. Second first down of the game here early on in this first quarter. I should say late in this first quarter with under 2 minutes to go.
Well, that's what we saw the last time they played at Joliet Memorial Stadium. It just took a little while for Judson to get its offense going, and they wound up getting 26 points. Saints, again, we talked about in the pregame, looking to set some career school records with some point totals, minimum yardage, and so far they're on track for that.
Pat Stroja cuts off Odom, and down he goes. Nailed in the front.
Number 55 in on that.
Taken down by Alan Richards again, the redshirt freshman out of Wilmington. We've been calling his name quite a bit today.
Yeah, he's a transfer and came in January. Learned the Saints defense. A couple injuries to some of the St. Francis starters, and Alan's coming in, done a nice job.
They got listed as a linebacker. He could easily play defensive line. He's a big boy, 6'3", 240.
7-yard loss on that play.
Back onto the Judson side of the field are the Eagles. Odom looking, scrambling right, still going, chased down by Michael Johnson. He gets his hands on him, throws, and intercepted again. Return up the left side, the third interception of the quarter for St. Francis. It is picked off. I'm sorry, I thought I saw 8. Was it 9?
No, it's Nick.
Nick Franciscovich.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, gosh. I can't get the name Francis out of my head.
That's all right.
Sorry to the Franciscoviches, who I know are loyal listeners. Probably yell at me every single game.
What is that, third or fourth?
I believe it's the third.
Yeah, third interception this afternoon. Saints again starting in Judson territory. Still 29 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
And Carl Bugh still in the game, a quarterback for St. Francis. 2 wideouts right, 1 left. Here's Joey Tumulty motioning right. They fake it to him. Carl keeps it outside, breaks 1 tackle. Shoulder into the defensive back before he's pushed backward and out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8 or so. Second down coming up for St. Francis.
Remember
the final 10 seconds click off.
Remember the Roosevelt game? I don't know.
Of course I do.
Do we have to take a break here?
No, we don't have to. You're the AD. We can do whatever the heck we want here, Dave.
All right. So we come to the end of the first quarter. But just looking at this, remember the Roosevelt game where both teams had like one, the Saints had 1 possession and Roosevelt had only 2 possessions? St. Francis in this first quarter has had the ball 5 times.
Yep. It is a vastly different game than the ones we've seen against Roosevelt and St. Xavier, no doubt about that. We'll take a 30-second break. It is 23-0 at the end of the first quarter. St. Francis in control, and we'll have it again after the third interception of the quarter on WCSF.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Flipping sides of the field here in Streamwood. St. Francis now going left to right into the wind.
Saints with the same point total, at least touchdown-wise, as the first time these two teams met. 21 points the first time. The Saints decided to go for 2 twice here this afternoon, and that's what's led to the 2-point advantage this afternoon compared to October 14th. 23-0 St. Francis, and the Saints on the march inside the 30-yard line of Judson.
And they're going to go 5 wide here on second down. Carl Bugh in an empty backfield. Friddle hasn't had a target yet. He's wide right. Snap from the right hash. Carl, time, breaks down, throws it on the run out to Tumulty on the left sideline. He's nudged out of bounds, but it is enough for a first down right around the 20-yard line.
And push them out of bounds is number 26.
Saints wearing their brown pants, gold gold tops. What's your favorite combination, Coach?
I love the gold on gold, to be honest with you. And the brown on brown. I'm a solid color guy. Honestly, any combination works for me. First down here for St. Francis. Two wideouts right, one left here with Haley on the right of Bew. High snap, handled fine. Bew steps up in the pocket, fires, looking for Dezion Jordan on the out route, but couldn't haul it in with one hand. It'll bring up second down and 10.
It was just too short for him.
Yeah, right. He doesn't want anything that's under 25 yards. That would have only been 8 or so.
Right. Don't want to mess with that average.
St. Francis with 40 yards on the ground through the first quarter, 56 through the air. Just shy of 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. All of those coming off of turnovers. And how about Jalen Cooper guiding the Saints to two-point conversions?
For sure.
Bew in the gun again, fakes the handoff, keeps it. There goes Carl through the middle, untouched for a touchdown. Carl Bew takes it 20 yards on the option play and makes it 29-0 with 14 minutes to go. We are 59 seconds into our second quarter, and the Saints stacking up touchdowns.
Brian Mayday on to attempt the extra point. Looking to stretch his streak to 40 right here. 40-40 vision.
Attempting the extra point, number 17, Brian Mayday.
Good snap. Cooper's hold is down. Kick is up, and he is a perfect 40 for 40. Brian Mayday. Excellent kicker here for St. Francis with 14 minutes to go. We're keeping tabs on some other games as the playoffs loom next week. Really, really hoping St. Francis was going to be a part of that. But that overtime loss to St. Xavier was a killer. It wasn't really the end of their playoff hopes until they played Roosevelt on the road. Night game. Came down to the very last play in that game as well. Credit to Roosevelt for marching down the field, scoring a touchdown when they needed to. St. Francis did have the ball at the end of that. Just couldn't score at the end of the game. And that really did close the door on any real playoff hopes for the Saints. But as fate would have it, those two teams that St. Francis lost to, St. Xavier and Roosevelt, playing for the conference championship later on today. They're warming up right now, set for a 2 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, we talk about just how the schedule worked out, too, with, for St. Xavier the last 2 years, St. Francis and St. Xavier battling for that conference title. They shared it 2 years ago, and then both teams undefeated last year going into the final game. And here again, St. Xavier, different opponent this time, but again, a final week championship. And that really sets you up, too. Either, whoever wins, sets you up for the next week, too. Because it's playoffs, today and moving forward.
Fair catch called for and made at the 25-yard line for Judson. That is where their offense will start with 14 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And when you talk about playoffs, obviously the conference champion gets an automatic bid. So whoever wins that game between St. Xavier and Roosevelt will go to the playoffs. If it's St. Xavier, Roosevelt probably out. I don't think Roosevelt's going to have the resume to get in. They're not in the top 25. They are receiving votes, but not in the top 25 where you have to be considered. St. Xavier, on the other hand, that's when it gets interesting. If Roosevelt can pull off the upset, it really will depend on where St. Xavier ends up in the rankings. I think they have a pretty decent shot with 1 point loss to Indiana Wesleyan and a 1 touchdown loss to Marion being their only losses this season. Saginaw Valley as well, but they're NCAA Division II squad. But that is not a common consensus. If St. Xavier loses, a lot of people think they don't have the resume to get in because they don't have the wins over top 25 opponents that some other teams do.
Yeah, like you said, they're right on the brink as Judson runs a first down play, picks up about 3 yards, 2nd and 7. 13:34 left to play, second quarter. Saints in command, leading 30-0.
I know you're good friends with head coach Mike Feminist. Didn't you send him a text message earlier today?
I did.
Wishing him luck, I assume. Here's Bruce on the carry. Tough runner, puts his shoulder down and runs right over Tavion Wells. Kimon Reese there to help him out at the end of the play, but a nice run, but it's going to be third down and about a foot for Judson, approaching their own 35-yard line. He's been the bright spot for that Judson offense.
Yep. Yeah, with Coach Feminist, obviously a Saint from the start, the beginning of the program. Really, with the exception of when he plays us, he still bleeds the brown and gold, wants his alma mater to be successful. And, our relationship has carried over for 35-plus years, and you want to see an alum do great, no matter what it is, football or business or, teaching or nursing, whatever it may be.
A nice tackle at the end of the play. Nigel Bruce, the carry. I don't think they're going to give him the first down. It's going to be fourth down and inches.
Lose a yard on this play.
And
they're going to have to punt.
The Judson Eagles, they want to go. Oh, they did give him the first down. Okay. It looked like he went backward to me, but
that's what I thought.
And the Saints are like, wait a minute, they didn't go forward.
Joe's looking at the he was standing in front of the first down marker, and he's like, are you sure?
Well, they got it first down here at their own 35. Odom in the shotgun. Just keep giving it to number 5. Here's Nigel Bruce leaping in the backfield. Oh, Kimon Reese, I believe, was the one who went flying over the top defensively. Only a gain of about 1. Yeah, Kimon Reese.
As you said, very active. Very
active is number 10 in gold. 11:30 to go first half. Saints on top comfortably 30-0.
And Judson with what? Just about maybe 35 yards of offense?
21 yards rushing and 10 throwing. So 31 yards of total offense. The Saints have about as many points as the Eagles have yards. Second down and 10 for Judson. Odom, quick drop, throws on the crossing route. 9-yard pickup on the pass and catch.
Very good job of Odom picking up the linebacker for St. Francis coming in on the blitz. Found his receiver, was doing a short 5 and come in, slant pattern, and pick up 9 yards on it, 3rd and 1.
Nick Franciscovich playing cornerback now. He's played linebacker, he's played safety, and now playing a little bit of corner. Things kind of shifted around when Scott Tumulty went down with injury. Some players had to shift positions defensively. Snap back to Odom, give to Bruce. Hit in the backfield, he stutter-stepped, and looks like he's going to pick up just enough for the first down. He needed to get 1, he got 2. First down up to the 46-yard line for the Eagles.
4 first downs now for the Eagles, but only one time beyond the just one time into St. Francis territory, whereas the Saints have started 1, 2, 3, 4 of their 5 drives inside Judson territory. The only exception was the first kickoff of the game.
Snap to Odom, give to Bruce again. Makes 1 miss, makes 2 miss. Finally drugged down by the Saints at the 45. That's going to be a loss of 1. Nigel Bruce, 10 carries, 26 yards so far today. Feel like it's more than that. Under 10 minutes to go, first half. Again, this Saints defense trying to be the stingiest defense of all time in terms of points allowed and yards allowed. The record right now is 2,673 yards, set by the 88 defense. The lowest point total allowed, set back in 2015 with 171. As Bruce breaks free to the 3rd level, Franciscovich has to be the one to take him down at the 36-yard line. That's the biggest play of the game
19
for
yards.
Judson.
And just the second time now, Judson, and the farthest Judson is into St. Francis territory at the Saints' 36-yard line. 8:40 left to play. Saints on top, 30-0. 3 interceptions the Saints have turned into touchdowns. Not on pick sixes, but eventually getting into the end zone.
Bruce on the left hip of Odom here. We haven't seen their starting quarterback, Aiden Edwards, since the first possession of the game. First down for Judson at the Saint 35 with that field flipping run by Bruce, and they're just going to keep feeding number 5 here. Shoestring tackle made by Matthew Perry after a gain of about 5 yards for number 5 for Judson.
Well, we have seen that out of the Judson offense over the past few years. Brandon Mackey, last year I think, or 2 years ago, was one of the nation's best running backs.
He was all-conference, all-American, had over 1,300 yards.
Yeah, he was like one of the top 10 rushers, right, in the nation.
Mm-hmm. He had 198 carries last year, Brandon Mack. Now, he's not even the feature back this year. Oh, the turf monster came and tackled the ball carrier for Judson. Listed at number 39, Marshawn Smith, the freshman running back out of Rialto, California.
And
he broke through and just tripped.
Well, I'll tell you what, on this turf, there really is turf monsters like every 5 yards, because this is a very old turf, and where the 5 yard markers are, it dips down a little bit. I haven't seen this in years.
Smith again, the ball carrier here on first down, able to pick up about 4 or 5 yards.
But anywhere there's like the white lines or even the blue lines that are set up for lacrosse and stuff like that, there's a little bit of an arch going down, and you can get tripped up.
You can certainly hurt a knee that way for sure.
You
ask Dan McLaren.
yeah, right.
Second down after the pick of a 4, right at the 19-yard line here for Judson. Their best drive of the game so far. 9th play coming up on this drive for Judson here on 2nd and 4. Again to number 5, Bruce. Cuts it up the numbers and able to pick up another first down for Judson. I think they found something they like. Give it to number 5 and run to the right.
Well, you talk about Brandon Mackey's numbers. Was that last year, the 198?
Yeah, 198 carries and just shy of 1,300 yards.
This year, they've only rushed 233 times as a team, and that's like 3rd lowest in the NAI this year.
There's receivers on the field for Judson, but they're out there more as as decoys and blockers at this point, because they're just going to keep giving it to number 5. Nailed in the backfield, though. I believe it was Jared King on the stop. Tackle for a loss. We'll bring up 3rd down and 12 to the 15 or 14-yard line. On just about 5 minutes to go here in the first half, Saints on top 30-0.
Yeah, 14th play of the drive for Judson. They've used up 9 minutes of the clock already. This drive started at 14:01. We're under 5 minutes now.
2nd down and 12. Odom takes the snap. He's going to try to throw this time to the end zone. Oh, nearly intercepted again. Tavion Wells had his hands on it in the end zone, but dropped it, brings up 4th down.
Man, I watched that one developing, and you're like, Tavion's going to step right in front of this ball, and that's exactly what he did, but he couldn't hold on to it. Saints are looking for their 4th interception of the day.
Interceptions by Cooper, Franciscovich, and King, all in the first quarter. Empty backfield. They're going to try to throw it again here on 3rd and 11. Oh, they almost got Pat Strozier. They did. Free play here for Judson. Rolling left, firing into the end zone. He just threw it out the back and threw it out of the track surrounding.
And now there's a late hit, I believe, on Carson Hansen.
Late flag came in at the end. And if that is indeed a late hit, that will give them
First
A
down.
first down.
First and
probably half
goal.
the distance,
Yeah.
I imagine. So
Yep.
probably somewhere around the 8-yard line. We have an offside penalty, which gave them the free play, and then a late hit, which what we believe is what they're talking about. 4:40 to go, first half.
Yeah,
Matthias Warner back in the studios, by the way, will be giving us a nice halftime show at the end. We'll get caught up on some of the other games going on around the league.
Here's the call.
Offside. Defense. Number 95. That penalty be declined. Personal foul. Rough on the passer. Defense. Number 22. That penalty be enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
There you go. That was Carson Hansen. A little aggressive after the throw. New life for Judson's offense. 4:40 to go. The best threat that Judson has put on here.
First and goal for the Eagles.
Going on, got 14 plays and 62 yards.
In almost 10 minutes. Loaded backfield.
Bruce will take the direct snap in the Wildcat, but St. Francis saw it coming. Only, actually picked up more than I thought. They're going to give him about 4 or 5 yards. Again, we're very low. The press box not very high here at the field, so tough to see when you get down toward the end zones exactly what yard marker they're on. That combined with the old turf and faded lines. But it's second down and goal. They mark it at the 4-yard line. Same formation. Snap goes to Bruce. Again wrapped up at the line. Only a yard maybe. Could probably no gain as Jalen Cooper ninja jumps his way onto his feet again.
Curtis Reeves there to make the stop up front for the Saints.
You know what I mean by ninja jump, right?
Yep.
Okay. Third down and goal again.
Didn't you dress up as a Ninja Turtle for Halloween?
I'm not sure if you're joking or not, but I actually did when I was a kid. That's not a joke. One of my favorite.
No, I was
ones.
talking about this year.
Oh, I should have. Yeah. Same formation. Bruce and the Wildcat here for Judson on third and goal from the 5. Snap back to Nigel. He's going to try to string it out.
Oh!
Pitches it. That's a fumble on the ground. Picked up by St. Francis. Their 4th turnover of the game. Bruce tried to pitch it, and it was picked up by Carson Hansen, I believe.
Yep.
Wow. 3 interceptions and now a fumble recovery for the Saints. They'll get the ball back with 3:17 to go.
Almost an 11-minute drive. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
16.
14, 16, 17 or 18 plays on that. Wow.
Yeah, what a drive. And they tried to get fancy. Yeah, Bruce is not very experienced in running the option play. I'm not even sure his teammate thought that he would pitch that ball. St. Francis will take over. Carl Bew still in the game. Gavin Day on his left. 3 wide receivers, tumulty motions. They give it to Carl Bew, keeps it. Stiff arms his way into the 3rd level of the defense. Going sideways at the 30 before he's ankle tackled down. A gain of 9. They don't give him the first down. 2nd and 1 coming up for St. Francis. 3 minutes to go in the half.
Only the second time St. Francis starting possession inside its own territory. The first time was on the opening drive after the kickoff. Saints had a couple first downs and then 3 incompletions, turned it over on downs, and since then it's been all St. Francis.
Well, they do give him the first down. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side, ball right hash. Snap back to Bew, looking left, plenty of time. Throws it to the sideline for Tumulty. Makes the grab. Return is on. A flag came in at the point of the reception back at the St. 40.
And I think that's going to be holding on St. Francis. Did not see who the other receiver was for the Saints that time.
As it sits, Joey Tumulty returned it to the Judson 40, so it would be a 30-yard pitch and catch, but wow, the penalty is against Judson.
Would they call them for holding?
I didn't catch the signal from our referee here. 2:21 to go in the half. 30-0 Saints.
20-yard pickup, or is it 30? 30-yard pickup.
Mm-hmm. View will be in that gun again. Haley on his right. This is Desi on Jordan territory. He split off wide to the right. Joey Tumulty left. Joey Tumulty slot right. He'll be in motion. And a whistle's going to blow it dead.
False start on the Saints.
Been quite a number of flags here today.
Saints
3 on each.
Action.
3.
Offense. Number 57. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, Saints one of the fewest penalized teams in the nation. 14th in number of penalties, I think, and 16th in penalty yards. And they've taken advantage of the opposing team's penalties.
It's probably my most amazing stat of the season. I'm not going to lie, Dave.
22. Well, actually,
it's unbelievable.
1 or 2 today.
Yeah.
23 first downs by penalty.
Compared to just 6 allowed.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Here's Bew on 1st and 15 after the penalty. Steps up, hit as he's thrown. That one's going to be intercepted. That ball just floated in the air as he was hit, as he was thrown. Returned back to the 40-yard line. There was Darius Beckham, the sophomore, with his first interception of the season for Judson. First turnover of the game came on a interception from St. Francis. It was Bew who was just leveled as he was throwing that. That ball just floated in the air.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw the defender coming at him, was getting ready to throw, and then came up from behind and touched the ball. And like you said, it just floated in the air, and one of the defenders was right there for Judson. 1:42 left to play. St. Francis pitching the shutout through the first 28 minutes, leading 30-zip. 3 scores off of interceptions. See if the Saints can finish off this first half here with the clean slate.
And they're going to timeout called on the field. Timeout called by Judson with 102 seconds to go here in this first half. 30-0 Saints. But Judson, with their first takeaway of the game, has the ball at their own 40-yard line. We'll take a 30-second break here as well. Live from Streamwood, it's St. Francis football on WCSF.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Welcome back to Millennium Field here in Streamwood. Nick and Dave with you for the final game of the 2023 season for this Saints football squad. It's been, I hate to say, a disappointing year. I know it didn't end the way they want, so in that way it is somewhat disappointing, but the individual efforts that we've seen, the ability for the team to remain together, and for this defense to perform the way they have this year, they're going to go down as the best defense that this program has seen by the time this thing is all said and done, as the first down carry will pick up about a yard or 2.
You know, and everything you said is really the game of football. And as we were coming up here, you know, we thought the Olivet Nazarene game was going to be obviously a closer game. The turnovers made it a completely different ball game, even though St. Francis outgained Olivet Nazarene as quarterback gets ready out of the shotgun, looking, pressure, throws to the left, almost intercepted again.
Yeah, Matthew Perry right there.
Yep. So it'll be third down here for Judson. But, you know, we were looking at it initially as, you know, the Saints could have possibly gone 9-1. And then we looked at it and we said, all right, could we have gone 8-2, and then that one last drive against Roosevelt crushed the playoff hopes. And unfortunately, you had the 6 turnovers against Olivet Nazarene. Credit to them. They played a fantastic game, their best game of the season.
Here's Odom rolling right, firing across his body, and it is caught at the 36-yard line. Looked like Tavion Wells came flying in to try to knock that one down just a bit too late in a big play, but another flag on the field in the offensive backfield. Oh.
And Michael Johnson back there, slow to get up.
Was it a late hit or a holding?
Yeah, I think it's going to be against St. Francis.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 52. Slaps his hand against the head of the helmet of the quarterback. Automatic first down, 15-yard penalty.
Is that 15 at the end of the at the end of the play?
Yep.
It's a big play as well. I believe that's about a 35, 40-yard pass play as it sits. Tack on the extra 15 because Mike Johnson hit the quarterback in the head with his hand, and now it's first down for Judson, right at the edge of the red zone, right around the 21-yard line. So again, Judson given another opportunity here to score. See if they can hold on to the football. Split backfield on each side of Odom. 2 wideouts left, 1 right. Play action. He wants to throw. Nothing downfield. Flings it left to Nigel Bruce and out of bounds. Incomplete. Brings up second down.
Well, you talked about Judson getting deep into St. Francis territory on their last drive, took over 11 minutes. And you see this a lot, and I don't know why this is. Offensive coordinators seem to mix it up when you get deep into, the opponent's territory. You don't continue to do everything that you did moving down the field, and that's what happened with Judson the last time. And it's mind-blowing. It happens so many times at every level.
Yep.
From, the Pop Warner leagues to the high school to the college to the professional ranks.
Second down after the incomplete pass, but is it a false start?
Might have been delay of game.
Or did they get the timeout? They did. Judson called the timeout just before the clock expired, so it'll be second down and 10. We are under 1 minute to play. We're looking at the top 25 here, Dave. And St. Xavier remains the only Midwest team in the top 25, currently ranked 13th. A couple Mid-East teams are in the mix. Indiana Wesleyan with a wild win over Marion last week to bump up to number 3. Marion with the loss actually only fell about 3 spots to number 7. Those 2 teams are going to make the playoffs. Indiana Wesleyan's going to win the Mid-East. They'll get in with the automatic. Marion's going to make it in as an at-large, being ranked as high as they are. But next year, the dynamics in the MSFA are going to change pretty significantly.
Yeah, we'll talk about the schedule, as we get into the fourth quarter and we look ahead and move past 2023. But, Marion and St. Francis, Indiana, moving over to the Midwest portion of the league next year after Roosevelt's departure to Division II, and St. Ambrose moving to the heart of America for football only.
Here is Bew on second down and 10. Not Bew, I'm sorry. Odom into the end zone. Is it caught in bounds?
No, it's intercepted.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was caught by Jalen Cooper, his second interception at the 2-yard line. A flag came in. I'm sure it's going to be some sort of celebration penalty, but Jalen Cooper with his second pick, the 4th interception and 5th takeaway of the half for this Saints defense.
And the 13th interception of Jalen Cooper's career, closing out with a bang.
And dead ball penalty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. On defense, number 5. That penalty would be enforced half the distance.
Did he say something? Because he pretty much caught it and ran. His momentum took him out of bounds, so I'm not exactly sure what the penalty was for.
I'm not quite sure myself.
Maybe he said one of the magic words, but the penalty is going to be half the distance to the goal, which is pretty much a 1-yard penalty.
A lot of penalties today, that's for sure.
There have been a lot of penalties.
It's created for a long first half. I mean, a lot of possessions, a lot of penalties, a lot of touchdowns, and just a lot of stoppages of play for the first 30 minutes of the game.
That is the 6th penalty on St. Francis, over 50 yards. Only 3 penalties on Judson for 14 total yards.
Maybe get what's Judson got? Oh, 1 timeout left, so Saints maybe just
first
run
and
the
10.
ball
They
once and finish it off.
They give to Gavin Day. Penalty flag comes in again. Going to be against St. Francis. Another penalty.
That's going to be holding on St. Francis.
For as well as the defense is playing today, we do have a lot of penalties, especially on the offense. But a couple of roughing the passer penalties on the defensive unit as well. 41 seconds to play in the half. Saints lead it 30-0.
66. Half the distance to the goal.
So it was a penalty on St. Francis. Is it a false start? Is that what they called?
No, I believe holding by, who was it? He said 66, Logan Miller.
So
he's playing in his final game of his career. Logan's been quality student athlete, both on and off the field. Smart student.
So they actually gained yards on the penalty somehow. Because they had it 1st and 11 at the 1, but now it's going to be 2nd down and 9. So
maybe
the penalty must have happened further downfield.
Either that or they declined the penalty.
2nd down and 8 for St. Francis, and looks like Bew is trying to sneak it, I guess. Quarterback sneak in the middle just to pick up a few yards and let Judson burn their last time out of the half.
Not really understanding this.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, just take a knee. Why risk getting hurt? Final timeout called by Judson.
What they're looking at, Quentin Demps talking to the side judge, looking at the clock.
Just the 3rd year of varsity football for Judson. Actually, their first year, they did pretty well. They went 4-7, had wins over Roosevelt and St. Ambrose and TIU and Madonna. Last year, in their 2nd year, went 2-8 with wins over Madonna and Missouri Baptist. Much tougher schedule this year, though, for Judson. They didn't play the Madonnas or TIUs or Mobaps anymore.
Three or top 25 ranked teams.
Yeah, they had a very tough schedule. So while they did go 0-8 this year, in danger of going 0-9 if they can't pull it out against St. Francis, the schedule was much tougher this year under head coach Quentin Demps. Former safety and kick returner for several teams, including the Chicago Bears. And actually went into the mental health counseling program at Trinity International, where he was an assistant coach. And that program folded last year, came here to Judson as the defensive backs coach. And then when Dan Papelchek was let go, Quentin Demps took over. Coach Papelchek, now the offensive coordinator at St. Francis High School in Wheaton, while Coach Demps here trying to get this Judson program off the ground.
I think these two teams trying to just enjoy a final day of.
I guess it's beautiful
football,
outside. Yeah. No rush to get home. Did they take a timeout?
St. Francis has now called the timeout.
Just take a knee and go to the locker room. 3rd down and 7 as it sits right now for St. Francis at about their 5-yard line. And this last minute has been taken about 10.
I could have went to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me a hot chocolate or something. Huh?
Put mustard on my hot dog, ate it, and come back, and there wouldn't have been any plays run.
Matthias just chomping at the bit back there, ready to give you this halftime show.
Yeah, he's
I know
got
he
a
is.
lot of highlights today. Unlike last week, that was the first time. And again, kudos to Olivet Nazarene. That was the first time that the Saints trailed all season, and the first time they had not scored in the first 3 quarters of the game.
Bu is under center. He will just. It's a good thing we call timeout so we can come back out here and take a knee to end the half. Oh, I'm sure there was a reason we just are not aware of, right?
It's a football thing, Nick.
Of course. It is halftime here. Only one more half of football to go in this 2023 season. Saints lead it on the road here in Streamwood over Judson 30-0. We'll take a break. Matthias will have your halftime show when we come back. You're listening to Saints football on WCSF.
Welcome to the Sports Saturday Halftime Show with your host, Matthias Warner.
Yes, we are here from the 4th floor of Tower Hall here from the University of St. Francis. I am your host, Matthias Warner, joined by Joseph Medea making an appearance here at the halftime, Joe.
What up, guys?
Yeah, we would just watch that first half. USF up 30-0 over Judson in Streamwood. We're going to be with you for about 15 minutes before we get you back out to Nick and Dave. Joe, just recapping that first half, Judson, they struggled early on. They got a lot of pressure on Carl, but other than that and late success in the run game, St. Francis has been having their way today.
They definitely have. I mean, the defense for St. Francis did come out this week, opposed to the Olivet game 2 weeks ago. But I mean, it's just been a train wreck for Judson. It's looking. I mean, they haven't been putting up any passing yards, nothing like that. The D line for St. Francis they've just been trucking every quarterback that Judson has put in this game.
Yeah, Aiden Edwards was in there for the first couple possessions, but after that he was replaced by Odom, who's been having a lot more success scrambling and getting the ball. But Nigel Bruce has been shouldering a lot of the load for this Judson offense. He got going, like I said, late in the first half. But he's been really the Judson's entire offense. Whenever they go for anything else or whenever they stream away from him, it seems like they have a tendency to turn the ball over. They have 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, and then 2 of them by Jalen Cooper, and then the fumble on the option miscue. So what do you think is going to be the key for Judson to maybe straighten this out a little bit?
Just getting comfortable. It seems like they're not comfortable. Their O-line has been struggling this game. Now, it is the last game of the season. They're not going for like anything like conference-wise or playoffs, so they might have been putting in their second and third strings to get them playing time and everything and all their seniors. But they just need to get comfortable on the field. It seems like they're not. It seems like the O-line isn't like trusting anybody. They're just letting everybody through. Every play I've seen Judson run for passing, the quarterbacks are always running out of the pocket, getting scrambled, having to just throw the ball up in the air and pray that someone catches it. And luckily, our team has been catching their balls in opposed to their wide receivers. So that's something for you.
Yeah, Jalen Cooper had the first interception of the day on the first drive. That led to the 35-yard touchdown from Carl Bu to Dezion Jordan. Carson Hansen had the third down sack to end Judson's second drive. That one did not end in a turnover, but the poor punt gave the Saints the ball at the Judson 30. Very little offense for the Saints, not on the Judson side of the field, so good field position there for the Saints. After a couple of penalties, Carl ran the ball in for the Saints' second touchdown of the game. That was when Odom came in for Aiden Edwards. He threw the ball instantly, gave the ball back to the Saints deep in Judson territory where Joey Tumulty had his 10th receiving touchdown of the season, and Odom was scrambling to try to be more effective, and that's when Nigel Bruce started going. He had the 4th down conversion from midfield, but that was followed up soon by the 3rd interception of the game by Nick Franciscovich, and Carl had the running touchdown after that, wide open middle of the field. I mean, Judson, it seemed like they had no sense for where Carl was or that he was running, but he was able to get there for an easy score. The friendly spot for Judson on the next drive kept their possession going, but Kimon Reese made a lot of big plays, and then it was nearing the end zone. It was Carson Hansen who came up with the fumble recovery off of that option play where the Saints came up with the ball. That was a 10 or 11-yard line, so Judson was really threatening to score before that. And then Carson Hansen, again, he had a big half with the fumble recovery, and then he had a sack as well. So, Joe, what do you think for the Saints? They've been moving the ball, they've been taking advantage of what Judson gives them, but if Judson is able to turn things around, what do you think the Saints are going to have to do to oppose them?
That's the question. If they turn it around. Right now, for the first 2 quarters, it's not looking like it.
Yeah, they haven't had safe success.
They're on pace for shutting Judson out 60-0. But I mean, in that second quarter, Judson did keep a good possession. They had like 9 or 10 minutes worth of it. And honestly, the entire game, they've been up in possession against St. Francis, only 10 minutes to 20. So, I mean, if they keep having those possessions and keep getting the ball back and just keep marching downfield, possibly they might be able to squeeze a W out of this game. But it's looking very slim to 0 is my take on that.
Yeah, turnovers have been the bugaboo, but with 1 half remaining, like you mentioned, the Saints are shutting them out. They mentioned on the broadcast a historic season for the Saints defense in terms of holding opponents to yards and points. We'll see if they can do that in the second half. We'll be back in a little bit with more reaction to that first half, and we're going to set you up for the second half with Nick and Dave. Be back right after this.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF. Welcome to the Sports Saturday halftime show with your host, Matthias Warner.
Yes, we're back here on the Sports Saturday halftime show. So, Joe, here, can you take us through with some of the numbers of that first half for the Judson Eagles and your University of St. Francis Fighting Saints?
Yeah, for sure. So, looking at the St. Francis side, they've had 11 first downs against Judson's 9. Judson has been running the ball a lot more than St. Francis, but have less yardage.
Yeah, Keenan Haley and Gavin Day haven't really been making a lot of appearances. Whenever it's the running game, it seems like it's been Carl Bew scrambling.
Yeah, Carl has the most attempts at 8 with 64 yards for the St. Francis's running game. But we've seen at the end of that second quarter, a lot of penalties have been thrown out. St. Francis has 6 penalties for 50 yards.
Yeah, it was a sloppy first half by both teams in that regard.
Yeah, against the Judson's 3 penalties for 14. So honestly, like if we're looking at the numbers here, Judson should be having, better defense here with the penalties and everything. But it's just St. Francis is just running them through.
Yeah, it just seems like they've been outmatched in this one. What do you have for Dezion Jordan? It seems like he was the focal point of the passing game.
Yeah.
Him and Daniel Getch early on.
Yeah, so Dez only has one reception this game for 35 yards.
They were trying to get him involved. Yeah, they were trying to get him involved.
I did see Carl try throwing him a few times here and there in the second, but Dez only has 1 reception for 35 yards. That's the longest throw Carl has all day. Joey Tumulty, 4 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. So they're not really, we can't really see anything with like the stats because they've only had the ball for 9 minutes and 36 seconds. So their stat lines are pretty low in terms of Judson, who had the ball for 21 minutes. But Carl has went 5 for 10 with 1 interception, 95 yards. 2 tutties, and the longest was that 35-yard touchdown reception from Dez.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Saints go about this second half. You're up 30-0. It's the final game of the season, so that might complicate things if you just want to run the clock down and get out of here with a win. But if you want to get people more experience and players opportunities to do things that they might not have otherwise had the opportunity to do, you might not lean into the run game as much. But I still think that's going to be one of the focal points for Coach McCarthy and Coach Curry, or Coordinator McCarthy, Coach Kelly, Coach Curry, can't talk, for this second half. They mentioned the MSFA and how the Saints' disappointing season is reflected by the loss to ONU, the loss to Who's the other game?
St. X,
St. X,
Roosevelt, and Olivet.
Yeah, they lost to those critical games, so that kind of took them out for the purposes of this season. They still have a lot to look forward to next season with a lot of returners, but in terms of this season, how's the MSFA shape up?
So right now, there's games playing for the MSFA right now. It's Lawrence Tech is absolutely demolishing Madonna. Indiana Wesleyan, who's 10-0, I believe, is losing to Concordia 10-21, but they've already established their playoff contention, so they're just probably getting players in and out, seeing what they can do in the postseason. St. Francis, Indiana is looking to take this game against Taylor 38-31. St. Ambrose is getting demolished by Olivet 50-7. Obviously, our game, we're demolishing Judson. And at 2 p.m. Central Time, which is actually 2:26 right now, St. X and Roosevelt are playing for the conference game, I'm pretty sure, because they're both 4-0 in the MSFA. But to give you a little bit of a standings for our conference, you have Roosevelt and St. X up on top, 4-0 in conference, 6-3 overall. Olivet's 2-2, we're 2-3. St. Ambrose is 1-3, and Judson is 0-5.
Yeah, it's been a rough one. Third season for the Judson program at this level,
which is understandable.
Yeah.
Young, brand new program, pretty much. They've been in this. They've had a football team ever since I was in college.
There we go.
3 years. From what we've heard from Dave and everything, first season they went 4-7, 4-7,
something like that.
And then
They've
went
had more
2-8.
success. Yeah, they've had more success than this year.
Yeah, and again, Dave was going back just to their schedule and how much harder they had it this season with playing Roosevelt and St. X. So, I mean, just one of those bad schedule seasons for them. Who knows? They might come back out next year, getting more recruiters and just seeing how they're going to bounce back after this season.
Even so, the last game the Saints played against them was 2 weeks ago, and they had a lot more success. Aiden Edwards enjoyed a really good game. He was something like 22 of 30 for over 200 yards and 3 scores, and he's just not having the same amount of success today. We're not as plugged into the Judson program as we are University of St. Francis, obviously, but still, it seems like a weird happening. And Brandon Mackey, mentioned on the broadcast too, all-conference running back, All-American. Seemed like he would be a viable option. We don't know if he's injured or something like that, but they haven't really gone with him after he was such a focal point in the game against the Saints with over 100 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the stats from their last meetup 2 weeks ago, it's night and day after 2 quarters. I mean, I'm just looking at the final game stats here, but I mean, it's miles away from what they have today.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was just garbage time. Judson they were keeping pace. I mean, it was a 30-point game in the end, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you compare that to the 30-0 drubbing we're looking at right now, it just seems like 2 different teams.
Yeah, it does. And that could be to it being their last game of the season, getting more players in and out, trying different things, different plays, everything like that, which, I mean, I know coaches like to do if they're not going to be guaranteed a playoff spot, but I'm pretty sure that's a main reason, getting their second and third strings in for their seniors leaving, to seeing if they'll be able to replace the people leaving after this year, which is what I also think our team's going to start doing this second half, seeing the young guys and what they can do on the field.
Yeah, I was really worried about the Saints, especially with how their season has kind of taken a turn for the worse down the stretch, how they were going to respond to this seemingly meaningless game against Judson. And to see them come out with a resounding 30-0 lead, that's good to see. And the players respond, and coaches, obviously probably a message during the week, but we've seen that message fall on deaf ears a couple times the last couple of weeks. So good to see that Coach Curry could get his guys going.
Yeah, bounce back after Olivet. They wanted to go big for their last game of the year, and now they've pretty much, quote unquote, secured it, I think. So they might be putting in their second and third strings, their backups. Maybe get my boy Christian Owens in the game.
Your
Who
boy.
knows? Getting him a tutty before he leaves after this year. But yeah, I mean, personally, I thought that's how it was going to go. We're going to give our second and third strings options and playing time. But it seems quite opposite for this first first half of the game.
Yeah, and you want to get some good momentum going into the offseason, build for next year with some of the weapons you're going to have. But again, you do want to get out and just kind of experiment a little, see what you can do, see what plays work. We saw that with some of the extra point plays. They got some interesting personnel in there. I think it was either Jalen Cooper or Keemon Reese. Someone was in on the offensive PAT that normally isn't there. So we've seen some of that, but obviously we're probably going to end up seeing more of that in this upcoming second half.
Yep, and also just showing the talent to the audience and everything, and their families and everything, to show them that we had a rough half of the season, end of the season this year, but showing them what they're
just get some good vibes going.
Yeah, just giving everyone good vibes and just showing everyone what we could possibly have next season for possible playoff contention.
And kind of bookending the season too. You open up with Waldorf, you win something like 63-7, and then you end with Judson. So it kind of gives some good external work for the fans if they can see that, hey, we started off strong. Some stuff happens in the middle of the season that you can't account for. Injuries. It's football. Football is a violent game. You have to account for injuries, but just to have this as a final showing is good for the Saints.
Starting off on a good foot, ending off on a good foot, I think is a good way to go about a season.
Yeah, and I would say if there's anything that the Saints really have to drill in on in the second half, it's protecting Carl. He had that interception where the defensive lineman just kind of was able to wreak havoc. Yeah, they crumbled on him.
And Carl got up in the pocket, tried to run, but seeing a defender coming in just aired it out.
Yeah, it was a bad throw, but it wasn't because of him. Yeah, it was an easy interception.
Yeah, the defender just hit his arm, and he, it just kind of died in the air.
Yeah, those are the plays that happen if you don't have the best O-line play up front. Other than that, it's been good, but just something to keep an eye out for, right?
Yeah, that was like the only mess up I think they've had the entire game from what I've seen.
We'll clean up some of the penalties.
Yeah, apart from the penalties at that end of the second half, I've seen. Don't want to get too excited. Don't want to get too crazy with the celebration, guys.
Yeah, get better at celebrating.
don't want any of those penalties against us, because those are huge and everything.
Well, at least they've been giving us stuff to celebrate about. That's the good thing.
That is true. Yep.
Yeah, Jalen Cooper, he had 2 interceptions in that first half. Nick Franciscovich with 1, and I forgot who had the other one. Someone named King. It was one of the lesser known DBs.
Yeah,
But I remember he had, I think it was the second interception of the day. But teams got to know not to throw near Jalen Cooper. He's been a menace. And on that final one, he came out of nowhere. We're watching the game up here in the studio.
Came out of nowhere and just, oof.
Yeah, that was very different than the Bew interception in that clean pocket. Odom had looking. He was.
Yeah, he just
went according to plan.
Underthrew it. It looked like.
Yeah,
Cooper just rushed in.
Good read on the ball.
And yeah.
Yeah. So for the second half, some keys for the Saints. Don't keep up with making the mistakes that Judson's been making. Don't get into a sluggish game. Avoid the negative plays or falling behind schedule on offense. That can really get you out of rhythm. And then, like we said, protect Carl in the pocket.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, don't slack off even if you're up 30-0.
Yes. Joe, how are your Judson Eagles poising a comeback in the second half?
We're not going to get into that. We'll get into that a little later. But yeah, don't get in your head, guys. 30-0 game. Don't
let up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. That was us from the 4th floor, Tower Hall, here at the University of St. Francis in Joliet. Now we're going to get you back out to Streamwood for the second half of Judson and the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints. Nick, take it back.
Welcome to the Sports Saturday Halftime Show with your host, Matthias Warner.
Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
All right.
Welcome back out to Streamwood High School. Nick and Dave with you. It is 30-0. The Saints on top here in the final game of the 2023 season. The Saints started off the game with a 5-play drive that ended with a punt, but then after that, Dave, they rattled off 4 touchdowns in a row before their first turnover of the game. 30-0. We saw Jalen Cooper orchestrate a couple of 2-point conversions. He's got 2 interceptions this year, 2 of the 5 total takeaways. Outside of the penalties, really couldn't have asked for a better first half.
How about point efficiency? The Saints with the time of possession 9 minutes 36 seconds.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
30 points. Judson with 20-24, and a lot of that on that I think it was second to last drive was over nearly 11 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes of possession for Judson to just over 9.5 for St. Francis. St. Francis also 0-3 on third down, so they're probably going to want to shore things up on that front as well. Individually for St. Francis, Carl not being asked to do much through the air. He's 5 for 10 for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. 2 touchdowns went to Joey Tumulty and to Desi and Jordan. That was Dez's only catch of the game so far, 35-yard touchdown. Joey's got 4 catches for 60, including his touchdown grab. On the ground, Carl Bew leading the way from his quarterback spot, 8 carries, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns, averaging 8 yards per carry for Carl. Joey Tumulty had a 14-yard run. Keenan Haley's only run it twice for just 1 yard for St. Francis. So the ground attack here, Dave, if you take out Carl Bew scrambling, has been a bit tough to come by in terms of yardage.
Yeah, and again, really, the St. Francis offense hasn't had to do much.
Yeah.
With the exception, they had the 14-yard run on the first play, the 12-yard run on the second play, and then since then, with the exception of the last drive, I think, everything has been in Judson territory. Second drive starts at Judson 42. You have the 36-yard pass play to Desi and Jordan. Next series, you start at the Judson 26, score a couple plays later, then you're starting at the Judson 14, and you're starting at the Judson 36. So, I mean, you look at the total offense, 174, and that's good for where the Saints have had field position. And, the Saints will kick off here to start the third quarter, hopefully pin Judson back deep, and hopefully the Saints could tie a record this afternoon, too. We talked about, the point total, which looks to be in good shape for the lowest points ever allowed in a season. The fewest yards, that's going to be a record. And they're going to probably tie the mark for the most shutouts in one season, and that is 3.
I'd like to know, we got to look back through the stats, too, and find how many takeaways the record is, because if they can stack up 2 or 3 more, they got to be getting close to whatever record that is in terms of defensive takeaways as well. Brian Mayday checks down the line, ready to get things going here in the second half, kicking right to left with the wind behind them. The return for Judson will start at the 5-yard line up the right hash, now toward the middle. Nice return here for the Eagles before he's wrapped down to the 39-yard line. Good field position to start the second half for the Judson Eagles, thanks to a nice return.
Keemon Reese and Josh Golden. Josh, another senior, playing in his last game as a Saint. Fits the motif, right?
Sure
Golden, Saints with the gold jerseys, and Josh Golden with his last name.
Not the only Golden that's played for St. Francis either. There was another a couple of years ago.
Golden Irby last year.
Golden Irby.
Yep.
There you go. I think you just recruit if your name is Golden, you just automatically
Brown or Golden,
recruited,
right?
Yeah.
Brown or Golden.
If your name is Brown or Golden, you got a spot here with the Saints. Okay, just know that. Odom will start at quarterback for Judson here. First down at their own 39-yard line to get this second half underway. Motion man to the left. They give to Nigel Bruce. He puts his shoulder down with a head of speed up to the 43-yard line. I'll tell you what, Nigel Bruce is about as tough a runner as they come.
Yeah, low compact runner, sort of like what we've seen with Brandon Mackey, previously. Same thing with the Roosevelt running backs that we've seen. All low, short, stocky guys that can just get underneath some of the taller defensive players for St. Francis and pick up that, extra 2-3 yards and stay low to the ground.
They gave him 5, so second down at 5 here for Judson. Second play of the third quarter. Another inside run from Nigel Bruce. Another positive carry. He's about a yard shy of the first down. So 3rd and 1 coming up from the 48-yard line. And an injured Eagle, and that couldn't be much worse news. Looks like
it might be a knee.
And Nigel Bruce.
Or was it a hamstring?
A hamstring, yeah. Good sportsmanship there by Keemon Reese, giving him a pat on the shoulder as the Saints go off to their sideline. The training staff for Judson will come and attend to Nigel Bruce, really their only offensive weapon that's produced any sort of production for the Eagles. 17 carries and 61 yards. Take out his 61 yards, and there's not much offense here for Judson in this first half. And they're going to take their time with Nigel, so we're going to take a break as well. We're 1 minute into our third quarter. We'll take a 1 minute break. You're listening to Saints football on WCSF. The right tackle for Judson, Braden Miller, went out and literally picked Nigel Bruce up like an infant to carry him off the field before some help came to help him out. That's a teammate right there. And now he's got to run back out there to get his spot on the offensive line. And they got somebody in for him, so that's very nice of them.
Looks like it's the right knee, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, hopefully he can come back. He's been the most productive member of that offense. Gonna hand off and big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Keemon Reese to lay the wood there on the 3rd down and 1 try. Marshawn Smith, the freshman running back out of California. Ooh, they give him a pretty nice spot. So it's going to be a 1st down. He needed to, and he got to. 13-15 in the third, just underway, and the Judson Eagles just shy of midfield here with a fresh set of downs. Starters on the field for St. Francis's defense. Smith moves to the right of Odom. He'll take the handoff, stumbles in the backfield, hit right away. Carson Hansen got his hands on him and didn't let go. Keemon Reese came at the end for the helper, and he's going to get no gain on that play.
I'll tell you what, that's a guy, Carson Hansen, who, was listed as a backup at the beginning of the season and has really come on strong for the Saints this year. Has done a nice job. One of the Saints' leading tacklers on the season. Has a fumble, has a touchdown to his credit on the, the blocked punt recovery in the end zone. Has done a really nice job as a redshirt freshman.
3rd on the team in tackles, to be precise. 2nd down and 10 at their own 49 here for Judson. Again, it's Smith. Gets to the 2nd level, but Keemon Reese not letting him go any further after a gain of 3 up to the Saint 48-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down. The run game looks vastly different with Nigel Bruce on the bench. They're also going to bring in their backup quarterback, Harrison Hanna, the freshman out of Georgia.
Maybe we want to get a look at him again, as you see with nothing to play for, so to speak. I mean, you're starting to see what guys can do in game situations, maybe that haven't had an opportunity, and you might see a little bit of that here in the second half for the Saints as well.
It looks like he's going to play running back here because Odom's still on the field as well. Here comes the blitz. Odom fires out of it, knocked out of the air. Nick Franciscovich. It was right in the hands of the receiver, but he knocked it away at the last minute, and I nailed the pronunciation.
Yes, you did. You made the adjustment. We always talk about coaches in games like this, and you made that in-game adjustment. You're going to get an A+ on your grade report today.
That's what football is all about, man. It's going in with a game plan, getting punched in the mouth, making an adjustment, Figuratively speaking, please keep your hands to yourself. 4th down for Judson. They're going to punt it away. Joey Tumulty standing with his heels on his 11-yard line. Look out here, Dave. I got a feeling.
Okay.
Good snap. The punt is away. There is a flag on the field. That's going to be killed by the wind. We're not going to get a return. Actually, it's a Tumulty, so you never know. Okay, they will down it. One of the gunners doing his best to use his hands to blow the ball a little bit further down, but
penalty markers on the field right at the line of scrimmage from both the headline judge and the head linesman and the line judge. I think it's going to be against Judson, and the Saints will take it because it was just about maybe a 33-yard punt.
Yeah, they kicked them right into a decently
make it 25 yards actually.
Kicking team. 5-yard penalty, which will be enforced from the end of the kick.
So it was an illegal formation on the punt unit for the Eagles, so they're going to tack 5 yards to the end of the kick for the Saints, and that is where Carl Bew and company will come and take over. Oh, no, they're going to re-kick. Okay. The referee said they're going to tack it on, but Joey Tumulty is back to re-kick, and it looks like there's a lot of confusion on the Judson side. Are they going for it, or are they re-kick? Okay, here comes the punter. They will re-kick it after the 5. I think the referee may have just misspoken there.
You know, you see this too. You know, these officials have the I don't know, you want to call it sound system, walkie-talkies, talking to one another.
Public address, yeah.
And but I mean, talking amongst themselves. And when they have that stuff, it's got to be a lot quicker. And you see good officials making the call, getting it done, and going right away. And these guys just seem to be a lot slower today.
It's going to be a repunt. Joey Tumulty needs to take about 10 yards ahead of him.
Here comes Keemon.
There is the punt, nearly blocked. A much better punt, angled right. Joey's not going to have an opportunity as it goes out of bounds somewhere in between the 25 and 30, I would imagine, with 11:06 to go in the third. Saints holding that 30-0 lead. The shutout is on at the moment, and with the way things are going, as long as they can keep Judson under 28 points and 318 yards, they're going to hold the new program record in those two categories.
26 minutes to do it. Looking really good.
Yeah.
Game time, 7 p.m. inside Millennium Center.
We're taking a look at that St. Xavier and Roosevelt game. They're tied at 7 with 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Wow. I think it's going to be a close.
It's going to be a great game, yeah. Here's Tumulty in motion. He'll take the jet sweep.
Got
up the sideline and out of bounds after a gain of around 8. They ran that play in the first half. Joey cut it back toward the middle. And you were pointing out that he should try to keep it to the outside. He kept it to the outside that time, but picks up about, they're going to give him 7. 2nd down and 3 for St. Francis.
Yeah, ran out of real estate that time.
Mm-hmm. Haley to the left of Bew, 2 wide receivers left and 2 to the right with the ball on the left hash of the 38-yard line. Blitz shown by the Eagles. They will bring 2 of them. Bew rolls to the right. He's being chased by the defensive end. He's going to take it himself and pick up a first down and run out of bounds right at midfield. Bew picks up 12 on the quarterback scramble, and that has really been the totality of the St. Francis ground game, is Bew getting out of the pocket and making something happen with his feet. He's got about 70 yards rushing now.
And that's what the Saints have to do to be successful with the running game this afternoon, because Judson is stacking, anywhere between 5 and 7 guys right up front along that line, and when you only have 5 or 6 offensive linemen, there's one empty guy, so you got to get to the outside. And hopefully there's no contain on that far side.
They do it again, but they get to Bew this time. He'll be sacked for the first time today. They had 7 on the line. And when Joey Tumulty motioned through the backfield, that actually brought an extra defender up into the box. And he goes down. Loss of 1. 2nd and 11 coming up for St. Francis at their own 46.
See if we got Des Jordan on this near side, along with Joey Tumulty. I think you might see a deep pass to Des this time.
No cornerback on this side. The safety's going to have to come up and guard Joey Tumulty. Linebackers drop into coverage. Bew looking that way, nothing there, and he'll go down for the 2nd time in a row. Another sack. This one's a loss of 5. Carl Bew, I think you're right. I think he wanted to go deep on that play, but offensive line couldn't hold up.
Well, exactly right. That time the pattern for both Joey and Des were a little bit deeper, and Carl saw the pressure coming and he just couldn't, get the ball to those guys because they were still running their routes. Couldn't throw it because there was so much pressure, and had to take the sack that time.
3rd and 16 now for the Saints. They're going backward on this drive, back to their own 41-yard line, and again, the Eagles showing a blitz here. They will drop some linebackers in coverage again, and they get to him again. 3 sacks in a row for the Judson Eagles. It was Bryce Heary out of Janesville, Wisconsin, picking up his first sack. That's going to make St. Francis punt it away. Ugly drive for the offensive line this possession.
This the first punt or second punt today?
Well, let's see. It'll be the second punt for St. Francis. He put a 42-yarder out there.
Right.
Brian Mayday did the first time.
It'll be another tough sun, so if your gunners can get down there quick, might have a play.
And he's got the wind at his back, so he's going to use that wind, puts it up in the jet stream, caught, and in another immediate tackle on the special teams play. Jalen Cooper, jeez.
Active. He's active.
He's active. Jalen Cooper, and offensively, 2 interceptions, and now a special teams tackle. He orchestrated two-point conversions. He passed one in and ran one in. This is the Jalen Cooper game so far.
The Coop Dupe.
Is that what we're going to call the 2-point conversion? I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, the Coop Dupe, I like it.
Well, they call it the tush push now, right? For when you get behind the running back or the quarterback and you push them ahead.
You don't need to act it out, though. First down for Judson. Carry on the outside up past the 30-yard line. It's going to be real close to a first down.
Tell you what, I don't know if you're seeing this right now, but both offensively and defensively for the Saints, they've come out here in the second half and sort of been in like a relaxed mode.
They're flat,
right?
You're 100%.
You're up 30 zip. Okay, it's a team that you've beaten by 30 the last time, but tell you what, they can break a couple plays here and be back in business.
Hannah is taken down by Jared King. That looked like a broken play from the beginning for the Judson Eagles. It was Harrison Hannah, the ball carrier, listed as a quarterback, but playing some running back with the injury to Nigel Bruce, who remains here on the sideline near side with ice on his right ankle.
That's what it is. Okay. Glad that maybe it's only a sprained ankle rather than a serious knee injury.
I am not speculating on injury. I'm just telling you I see ice on his right ankle. Who knows? Reporting the facts.
Dr. Phil? No, Dr. Nick.
Second down and 11 after the loss. Oh, he's going to have to try to escape the pocket, and down he goes. Carson Hansen again with the tackle. It's going to be a gain of 1 on the play, but 3rd down and long coming up for the Eagles. 6 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the third. Still locked in this 30-0 score.
That's a lot better. Must have heard that I was talking about them in their underneath their helmets. Maybe they got that.
I think they listen to WC. I think they listen to the radio, all of them, while they play. Harrison Hannah to the left of Odom. 3 wide receivers left and 1 tight right. Defensive line. They will blitz an extra guy. Odom rolling left, fires, and just pretty much throws it out of bounds. And Judson will punt away with 5:34 to go in the third.
There you go. Pin the ears back a little bit after that first down rush of 12 yards and did a good job defensively. Now, like you said, the offense has to pick it up a little bit here. Didn't have any sacks against them the first half and then had 2 on that last drive. And, we've seen the pressure from Judson coming all afternoon long, but after that first series, the Saints were able to pick it up, and wasn't the case on that first offensive series here in the second half.
If Dan Sharp were here, he would be yelling at Joey Tumulty to step up and catch this football. There he goes. He will from the 37-yard line. He's got some room to the right here, past the 50, cuts it back here near side.
Here we go.
Running laterally. Joey's got to hurry. Up to the 40. Puts up the afterburners to the 35. 30 wrapped up and spun out of bounds. That will be a 37-yard return for Joey Tumulty, setting up the offense inside the 25-yard line of Judson.
You know, the big thing nowadays, and it's been for probably about 5 years now, is yards after catch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll ever do like yards after a guy catches a punt and how many yards he zigzags?
Like actual yardage, right?
Yeah.
Not vertical yardage, but
Right.
actual, and they do measure that. Yeah, we've had a software company on Twitter actually analyze some videos that St. Francis has posted, and we've seen some of the acceleration and speed numbers between Scott Tumulty and Sam Tumulty. I'm sure that they could probably do a total complete yardage ran on a return.
I mean, especially Scott throughout the years, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Give to Gavin Day here on the sweep on first down. He'll take it to the 15-yard line.
Is that his first carry today?
I believe it is. No, actually, it's a second. He did pick up 1 yard in the first half, so second carry of the day for Gavin Day. Onto the field for the first time today will come James Williams now, and Gavin will get a breather.
Still 30-0, same as the first half score. 4.5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter.
They gave him 3 yards, so 2nd and 7 here for St. Francis in the red zone again. Every time St. Francis has started a drive in positive territory, it's ended in a touchdown. View will have Williams on his left hip. And a timeout by St. Francis. They want to talk some things over here. Let's get an update on that St. Francis score. And look at that. Look at the Lakers here. 14-7 with 5:19 to go. That is a game where the winner will go to the playoffs. The loser is going to have to watch the selection show tonight or tomorrow.
All right, so what's ahead for the Saints? 2024, are you ready?
I was just going to ask you that, yeah.
The 2024 schedule will have a totally different look with both Marion and St. Francis, Indiana coming over to the Midwest side because, again, we've lost Roosevelt, which we talked about. They're moving to Division II. God bless them. And then St. Ambrose going to the Heart of America Conference. So the draft is out. It's not official as of yet, so don't make your plans just yet. So the Saints will have St. Francis, Indiana, Marion, Judson, St. Xavier, and Olivet Nazarene. And St. Xavier and who else is on the road? St. Francis, Indiana. We'll talk about the crossover games after this play.
2nd down and 3 for View. Plenty of time this time. Launches it into the end zone for Des Jordan. He made an athletic grab for a touchdown. A flag comes in very late.
Well, I'll say very late. I know Des pushed off a little bit, but that call was extremely late.
And it will be a pass interference on Des Jordan, wiping away the touchdown.
I don't understand how you can make a call like that late.
Okay, maybe the flag just got caught on a belt. I don't know. But it was extremely late. I mean,
he had the ball. He caught it. He was then out of the end zone, and then the line judge threw it. I mean, like you said, if he had trouble getting out of his pocket, I understand. But, whoa, that was extremely late.
Nice play by View. Nice job by Jordan. I guess he pushed off a little bit, so the penalty will move the line of scrimmage all the way back to the 32.
Again, maybe Des did that because it was only going to be about a 15-yard touchdown, and he wants to get the 30-yarder.
Well, there's... See
Here
what
it
happens.
is.
They're going to
Here
throw
it
it away again.
Here it is.
For Des Jordan again. Oh, he had his hand on it. Incomplete in the back of the end zone. Into double coverage there. I think the ball probably floated a little bit longer than View would have liked it to, but Jordan had his hands on it in the end zone. He just couldn't hold on.
Actually, I thought the ball was a little bit deeper initially, and Des got there.
Nice throw by Carl View. That's exactly what you want to see here, and that kind of thing that he's working on here at this final game of the season. 4:10 to go here in the third quarter. Saints still up 30-0. It's still 3rd down and 22. They need to get to the 10-yard line for a first down. View in the shotgun again. 3 wide receivers left. One to the right is Friddle. Snap back to Carl. Here comes pressure. He'll roll right. He's just going to whip it downfield looking for Dan Getch, but he overthrew him by about 5 yards and incomplete. 4th down. Send out Mayday here.
And you are. You got the call.
So if you go to my Twitter, Dave, at Nick with a mic, you will see a video of Ryan Mayday from halftime kicking a 60-yard field goal off the crossbar. It didn't go in, but it hit the crossbar.
Wow.
Going in this direction. So you're looking at a 48-yard field goal with the wind as it is, well within his range.
And what is this? This is his school record.
It might be very close. We're going to have to look it up afterwards. Snap's good. Holds down from Coop. It's got the leg. Is it in?
Wide right.
No, it's wide right. Oh, man, I thought we might have a record on our hands from Mayday here, but just to the right. It had the leg. It had the power. Couldn't get it in between the uprights. Oh.
All right, while we switch teams, we talked about the Midwest portion of the schedule. Again, the Saints playing St. Francis, Indiana, Marion, Olivet, St. Xavier, and Judson. And St. Xavier and St. Francis, Indiana will be on the road. Saints will open the season on September 7th at Waldorf. That's a home-and-home series. That was the home opener this year. The crossover games, Lawrence Tech, Concordia, Michigan, Indiana Wesleyan, and Siena Heights. And the only of those 4 games on the road in the crossovers will be Concordia. Saints will also be at Waldorf, at St. Francis, Indiana, and at St. Xavier. So 6 home games next year and just 4 on the road. First down play for Judson. Goes to the first running back, and Carson Hansen there again. How many tackles for Carson this afternoon?
We don't know the order of those games, the dates of those games, do we? Yet?
I can't recall offhand, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I know I believe it's Waldorf first. I think Lawrence Tech, then Concordia, and then, let me see,
while you're looking that up, it does not appear that the statisticians here today are keeping track of tackles. 2nd down and 13 here for Judson. Here comes pressure. Jared King misses on the sack opportunity. Odom scrambles out to the 30-yard line, picking up 2, but it's still going to be 3rd and long. 3rd and 11 coming up for JU.
Yeah, so I will tell you, I'm pretty confident of this. I think it was Waldorf, Lawrence Tech, Waldorf away, Lawrence Tech at home, Concordia away, Indiana Wesleyan at home, then Siena Heights at home, and then in terms of the MSFA stuff, I think it's either St. Francis, Indiana, or St. Xavier to start.
3rd and long. Here comes a 4-man rush by St. Francis. Can they get to Odom? Ball comes out. Not exactly sure who picked it up. Keemon Reese says the Saints have it. Michael Johnson says the Saints have it. And they do. That is the 6th takeaway of the season.
Alan Richards comes up with it. Wow. Yeah, the last game of the year will be against Marion.
Okay.
So maybe we'll be playing Marion for the conference title next year.
Here's hoping. If we can get through Indiana Wesleyan, you never know.
Well, that'll be crossover, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I guess if I'm going to invite one of the 2 over, none are great. We've played Marion plenty of times. They were some pretty good games, actually. St. Francis takes over at the Judson 26-yard line. Carl Bew still in at quarterback here. Jake Friddle at running back here. Play action, and Carl's going to keep it. Breaking a few tackles. Look at the freshman quarterback go up to the 20-yard line. He'll pick up 6. 2nd down and 4 coming up.
Second down.
Nice run by Carl. Into
Carl
the
with
game.
about 76 yards on 13 carries. Had 170 his last time against these guys, which is his career and season high, obviously, the freshman.
2nd and 4 play coming up for Carl. Hands it off this time. Was that Day or was that Zillinger?
Zillinger,
Yeah, okay.
yep,
James Zillinger will take it for about 3. He's going to be a yard shy. So 3rd and 1 coming up for St. Francis inside the 20-yard line again.
Doing some swarming there on the defensive side of the ball. Pickup of 1 or 2, 3rd and 3. Under 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter.
Carl Bew in that gun again. Zillinger on his right hip. 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. There's the snap. Carl's going to roll right. Bootlegs, throws on the run, and looking for Tumulty in the end zone. Falls incomplete. 4th down and 2. I thought there were 4 interceptions, but I'm only seeing 3 here on our stat sheet. 2 from Jalen Cooper, 1 from Francisco. Oh, there it is, yeah. And 1 from Jared King. So, and then 2 fumble recoveries, 6 takeaways for St. Francis. Doing
1 giveaway,
Judson.
right?
1 giveaway, yep. 1 interception that Bew threw as he was being hit rudely in the backfield. 4th down, and Carl Bew and company still on the field here. 1.5 to go here in the third quarter. Saints still on top, 30-0. Zillinger left, Friddle to the right of Carl Bew in the split backfield. Snap back to Carl. Nothing to the right. Bootlegs left, fires into the end zone again for Getch. He was out of bounds.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Had his fingertips on it, tried his best to keep his feet in bounds, but a little bit too wide on the throw. Turnover on downs there for the Saints.
Give a lot of credit to Carl this afternoon. You know, he had, a very difficult game 2 weeks ago, facing a heavy amount of pressure. And he's facing that today, too. And he's done a really nice job. He had the 1 interception, but again, it was as he was throwing, didn't even see the guy hit him as he threw, and it was a wobbly ball after that. But, coming up with all the interceptions and the mistakes 2 weeks ago and making the recovery today, that's a sign of progress for Carl Bew.
1st down for Judson. Another inside handoff. Keemon Reese comes sliding in to make a stop again. I did find our tackling numbers now. Carson Hansen and Keemon Reese both with 12 tackles. And we still got a quarter plus to play.
Yeah, those guys, they're always atop the leaderboard on tackles. Keemon, really a big addition, and it's going to be nice to have him back next year as well.
Well, I'm not sure what happened because T.J. Neal started the season at middle linebacker.
Yeah, and he's been bothered by the knee injury. Yeah, he's been out the last 3 weeks as well.
Oh, cornerback blitz from Keemon Reese. Did he get there in time? He did. Down he goes, and
I don't know if it was him or if they're going to give it to Curtis Reeves. He was there as well. Keemon came from the outside, and I think Curtis was inside, and they might have sandwiched the quarterback that time for the 4-yard loss. And that will end the third quarter, Mr. Jacobs.
And we'll take a timeout. We'll update you on that St. Xavier Roosevelt game for the conference championship in just a minute. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Saints football on WCSF.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we'd like to recognize
Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Defensive line coach, Executive Director of Football Operations, Jamie Herrick, the United States Army.
Welcome back to Streamwood. What's going on? It's Nick and Dave with you here at Millennium Field at Streamwood High School. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans listening in, whether you're St. Francis alumni or family. We appreciate you and thank you for your service.
You know, and they just announced, this was really cool, Nick. I don't know if you saw it or not, but they were the Judson public address announcer is announcing some individuals, including coaches for Judson on this near sideline, that have been in the armed forces. And after one of the coaches was announced, two of the players came up to the coach and gave him a big hug and said
cool.
thank you.
Keontae Nixon for Roosevelt has 4 catches for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's halftime. St. Xavier and Roosevelt tied at 14.
That might be an overtime thriller.
That's going to be a good one. 3rd down and 15 to go for Judson here. Back at the 14-yard line as we enter the final quarter of the 2023 season. Here is the throw to the edge, and it is caught inside the sideline for a big play and a first down. Nice play by Odom, getting it out to Damon Mueller for his first catch, not only of the day, but of the season for Mueller.
What are we up to for Judson? About 150 yards maybe of offense?
You tack on that 30, you're at about, 140. First down up to the 41, 42-yard line here for Judson. Desmond Hill Thomas in at fullback for Judson. The big 5'11", 230-pound fullback. He's in there to block. Odom looking. Here comes pressure. Out of the pocket he goes. Steps up, looking for a little bit of help. Gets a nice block up to the 44-yard line. After all that, he picks up 1 or 2 yards or so, to your point. Ran a lot to pick up 2.
You have to run vertical.
Easy to say up here when you don't got Pat Strozian, his 80-inch wingspan charging at you.
He is one big man. He's been a nice addition over the past couple of years.
For sure.
Dad was a very similar player. Just a tough, hard-nosed, gritty guy.
Actually, they're going to say he lost 2 yards on that play. I gave him a little bit more credit. 2nd down and 12 now for Judson. Here comes the blitz. Thrown right at it, but a nice tackle made by Reese at the 45. They pick up 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. One of the offensive linemen for Judson a bit slow to get up. It's actually Braden Miller who helped Nigel Bruce off the field. I don't see Nigel Bruce going out there to lift Miller up and take him off the field.
I'm going to say another interception right now.
3rd down and 8. Plenty of defensive backs on the field. Linebackers up at the line of scrimmage. Except for Keemon Reese in the middle. He's playing coverage. Here's Odom stepping up in the pocket. Now has to roll to the right. Pump fakes. He's going to run it himself. Chase down from behind is Cam Holman on the first down saving tackle at the 50-yard line.
Bernardi there as well.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was Bernardi, the sophomore, redshirt freshman.
Yeah, just came in recently. A good addition to the Saints as well.
Bernardi out of St. Augustine, Florida. Uwashita Baptist transfer. 4th down and 2 here for Judson in midfield. They're going to try to pick it up. Odom in a split back, and the offense saying, hurry up. They got 3 seconds on the play clock. The snap did not get off in time.
Timeout.
Ooh, they did get the timeout in time. So we'll take a 30-second break as well. 12:02 to go. 30-0. Saints holding on to the shutout. We'll be back in just 30 seconds. You're listening to Saints football on WCSF.
The Encounter is online. Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF.
Welcome back out to Streamwood. It's going to be 4th down and 2. Couldn't get the play in time, so the Judson Eagles took a timeout. 12:02 to go, final quarter of the season. What do you think? What's your takeaway? Your big picture umbrella takeaway from 2023?
On the positive side, the defense obviously played tremendously well. You know, on the negative side, and this isn't a negative in terms of the program, just some of the key injuries that really affected the season.
Hannah on the carry, trying to pick up the first down here on 4th down. He needed 2, and he got 3. It's enough to move the chains. I would agree with you. Those are the first 2 things that came to mind as well. The record-setting defense, who will set a program record for the amount of yards and points allowed in the season,
I mean,
assuming things hold today.
Yeah, this will be the 6th time out of the 10-game schedule that the Saints will more than likely hold an opposing team's offense to under 300 yards.
So, yeah, the defense, the injuries that hampered especially the offense, but a little bit on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, Michael Johnson on the defense, Scott Tumulty, and obviously Sam on the offensive side of the ball, Ryan Little early in the year.
I would also add another delay of game. This one's going to get called on Judson. They didn't get a timeout this time. The flag came out from the back judge, but the Judson Eagles are trying to plead their case that the clock wasn't set correctly. Not going to win that argument.
Home field disadvantage.
Yeah, right. I would also add the emergence of Sam Tumulty as a passer.
Yep.
And I'm not saying he didn't have that ability last year, but he really didn't need to show it. But with the injuries that he sustained to his foot, which hampered him as a runner, seeing the amount of yards that he was able to put up as a passer was outstanding. And if you're anyone who plays against the Saints, scary to see. Here we go on 1st down. Pass across the middle. It is complete. And a big gainer up to the 20-yard line, but another flag comes in. 40-yard pass play for Judson, but it's probably coming back because of another penalty.
Yep. They're marking it where the holding occurred, and it was right at the line of scrimmage. Fans on the near sideline telling the officials what they think of that call.
11 minutes to go. You just kind of feel for Judson at this point. Everything they do correctly, everything they do right. That was a beautiful play.
Yes,
that was a 20-yard in route. Odom nailed him in stride, picked up another 10 yards after the catch. Penalty. And those are the kind of things that young programs are going to have to work through.
Well, and you see it, you look at veteran programs too. Look at the Bears this season. How many penalties they've had and how that's set them back as well. Just not being disciplined.
So 1st down and 25 after the penalty. Odom throws it to the boundary in front of the St. Francis bench, and it falls incomplete.
Jared King, coming from his linebacker spot, led to the quarterback having to get rid of the ball sooner than he wanted to. As the sun starts to fade here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, 51 degrees. A lot of fans came out this afternoon, and a lot of Saint fans on the far sideline. Very impressed by the following this afternoon of the Saint faithful.
I wasn't going to say anything before the game, but we've been very lucky weather-wise this year. We didn't have really any kind of blizzard games. We didn't have any crazy wind bowls or anything.
Just that one, the one home game, right?
Yep.
Wasn't too good.
It was a little rainy. Here's the 2nd down and 25 play. Odom scrambles up to the 46-yard line. That's a nice scramble of about 8-9 yards or so, but it's still going to be 3rd and very long. And we're saying this guy's name for all the wrong reasons today. Bryden Miller down with an injury now. He's the guy who carried off Nigel Bruce. He's the guy who committed the holding penalty to wipe off the 40-yard pass play. And now the poor guy's injured.
Number 16, Christian Owens in on the
and he is a large man.
Yes, he is. 6'2", 315, a freshman out of Maryland.
There will be no one picking him up and putting them on his
shoulders.
shoulders.
Where's Nigel Bruce now? I mean, he lifted you off. You can go out on the field and carry him off, can't you? That's why you hit the weight room.
Nigel would have to go and get the golf cart that's been around here and take him off the field.
So Coach Curry, assuming things remain how they are, will win his 64th game, 64-60 through his 12th season as head coach. Was the Midwest Coach of the Year last year, his third such honor. He's had to go through some rough seasons to get to the point that he's at now. Yeah, I mean, three Coach of the Years, and you're fighting for conference championships in a pretty tough conference. You're still just 64-60. That shows you how rough the first couple of years was.
Yep, yeah, Joe's done a fantastic job. I know it's not the results that he would like for this season, but the kids come out and compete every week.
They do. Third down after the quarterback scramble. Injury timeout is over. Here's a snap to Odom. Here comes the blitz. Picked up well. Oh! Not well enough here at the end of it. Carson Hansen again gets into the backfield for the sack.
And the amazing thing about that play with Carson was he was taken down initially on the play, got right back up, and then got the sack. So that is going all out.
Brings up fourth down and a mile. They're going to have to punt this one away. We'll see if they give Joey Tumulty a chance here in the final 10 minutes of the season. The punt is away. They will give him a chance. High punt caught at the 33. Joey sprints to the left. Now back to the right. Can they keep up with the freshman? Back up the middle now. Still on his feet at the 50, doing everything he can. He jumps across the 50-yard line to the 49. And the Saints will start inside Judson territory, but barely.
Him and Scott come from the same mold.
They do.
They have exactly the same moves. Scott's a little bit. What do you have for height and weight
for Scott
and Joey compared?
Okay, well Scott is 5'11", 205.
Okay.
Joey's 5'9", 177.
Okay. Yeah, I knew
so
Joey
a little
was
shorter, a little heavier, or a little lighter.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to get bigger as puts on some weight in the weight room over the winter. And those guys they're always down in the weight room.
First down here for Carl Bew. He gives to Gavin Day, sweeping left up the hash. First down and more for Gavin up to the 30-yard line. His best run of the game. See how long Carl Bew stays in the game here as we tick under 9 minutes to play. See if they want to give the
even
senior.
On game day, the Tumulty brothers are in the weight room before the game.
They need to be. The way they run, because if they weren't, they'd be injured so quick. And I know two of them are out with injury now.
Yeah. And they are. I mean, they are like thick, solid, just
they are
working out.
Gavin Day left of Carl Bew. Are they going to give Owen McGuire any time? Are they going to give Christian Owens any time? Oh, what happened here?
That was.
Penalty came in. The snap was on the ground.
Yeah, false start on the center for us.
Peyton Norton.
Yep.
Coaching Ken Norton's son.
Christopher Norton.
I'm sorry.
Ken Norton,
the
linebacker with the Cowboys.
Wrong Norton.
It happens when you get old, man.
40 hasn't been kind. First and 15 back to the 35-yard line here for the Saints, going left to right into the wind. Gavin Day to the right of Carl. Joey Tumulty right slot, and that one gets over his head. Ball's on the ground. Looks like Judson picked it up.
Yep.
They do. Snap goes over Carl Bew's head. And is another turnover. Second turnover of the game for St. Francis. 8 total turnovers in the game combined.
Yeah, just not a sharp effort by the Saints here in the second half, especially offensively. Defensively, a little bit at times, but they've made the recovery. And now they want to finish this off and get their third shutout of the season. 8:05 left to play. Score has not changed since, when was the last touchdown here? Since 14:01 of the second quarter, Nick. No scoring in the third quarter. So all the scoring in the first 16 minutes of this game.
First down for Judson, just shy of midfield. Odom's going to look deep here. Plenty of time. Fires to the boundary, but he threw it right to Jared King for his second interception of the game. He flips it backward to Tavion Wells on the lateral, and they got to about midfield. King with 2 interceptions. That is now 5 picks. So a fumble gives it back to Judson. They give it right back with an interception.
Wow. And quarterback had his receiver wide open because actually Jared King tailed off of his man, and obviously the throw was well short, and Jared was right there to make the play and pick up his second interception.
Yeah, there's been 4 touchdowns in the game, all by St. Francis, of course. 3 of them were in the first quarter. The last touchdown was in the first minute of the second quarter, so we've gone essentially almost 3 quarters without a score. Here's Bew on the run. He's got some room to run if he wants it. Goes to the outside to the 40. Picks up a first down for the Fighting Saints inside Judson territory.
Really nice block that time by Desi and Jordan. And, you know, you talk to Coach Curry and you say to him, man, does Dez ever get upset that he doesn't have more balls thrown at him? And he says, you know, Dez just goes out there and does whatever he's asked. If it's to block, it's to block. If he makes catches, he makes catches. He's happy all the time, and he just works hard, and that showed right there.
That's all you can ask for, man. He's split wide right now here on first down. They give inside carry. Gets it up to about the 33-yard line.
Number 27.
That was Keenan Haley on the carry as we go under 7 minutes to go as the shadows grow longer and longer here at Stream 1 High School.
Lights are actually on. I'm not sure they need them, but.
Well, if this half ends like the other first half ends, it might be dark. Carl Bew, 5 for 14 through the air for just 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. 1 interception, been sacked twice. Here is a second down and 5 play. Fires it down for Tumulty. Caught at the 10, fighting for the goal line. He is in. Touchdown. 33-yard touchdown. Joey Tumulty gets back on the board. After being shut out last week.
Pretty pass from Carl Bew to Tumulty, and he had some pressure going on again and stepped up, made the throw. Joey Tumulty wide open, gets tackled about to 2, and then scoots into the end zone for his second touchdown of the day, right?
Adrian Guerrero on for the extra point here. Brian Mayday's career looks like it's over as Guerrero comes in and puts up his first extra point. Congratulations to number 61, the freshman from Willowbrook in Lombard, an old Tumulty high school teammate. Now on the Saints kicking some extra points. Good for him. Tumulty, yes, 2 touchdowns for Joey Tumulty today. 5 catches, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Joey. 5 of the 6 completions have been to Joey Tumulty today. And we'll see who kicks it off. Are they going to make Guerrero kick it off as well? They will. Not make. Allow.
Yeah. You are forced, because you made that PAT, you are now forced to kick off.
I've seen him in some warm-ups, man. 61 here's got a leg.
I don't know what he's doing. It looks like he's got shorts on instead of
he's hiked up his football pants.
I mean, those are halfway up, and I think the officials tell him you got to put those pants down.
The freshman Adrian Guerrero.
Does anybody wear their pants below their knees anymore in football? I mean, the knee pads are
not much. It's just to hold the knee pads,
right?
yeah.
And like kickers, they don't even wear any kind of pads. They just put the pants on. How the game has changed.
Kicks off into the wind. They will come up and make the return from the 20-yard line. Keemon Reese laid him out at the 33 for another special teams tackle. He's got 14 tackles now today. Does Keemon Reese.
Mackay Van comes into the game for the Saints. We'll see some other guys. Let's pull out the old roster. Robbie Thelasimi out there. Who else we got? Anybody new in the lineup?
Looks like Josh Ratliff. No, he's a running back. I thought 20. Oh, not 25. It was
Ryan Bannis.
23. Demarius Farmer.
No, Ryan Bannis. They switched.
Oh, good to know. Okay, great.
Let you know in the fourth quarter of the last game.
Yeah, thank you. Odom in the shotgun, and lots of jumping on the both offensive and defensive lines. We'll see who they call it on. Pat Stroja is still in there. Curtis Reeves still in there as well.
Yeah, most of the starters. Like I said, Bannis and Mackay Van really the only two changes along with Thelasimi.
So who'd you say 23 was?
Ryan Bannis. I think he was an 80 number before.
Ryan Bannis.
Another Wilmington product. Redshirt. They actually called that on the Saints, encroachment.
So he started off as a wide receiver. We moved him on the defensive side?
Yep.
Cool. Cooper still out there. Jalen Cooper in his safety spot. Matt Perry, the corner, still out there as well for the St. Francis D. 6:16 to go, 37-0. Motion right, but they're going to run it left. Up to the 40. Nice tackle made on the outside by Tavion Wells to minimize the damage. It'll be 2nd down and 3 coming up for Judson.
Perfect defensive play from your defensive back. Take the legs out, and he can't go anywhere.
2nd down, and about 3 yards to go.
Just past the 40-yard line are the Eagles on their own side of the field here. 5:47 and winding down. Split backfield here for Odom. 2 wideouts right, 1 left. 3 linemen for St. Francis. They're going to throw. Fires to the right side, and it is fought for and
incomplete.
The ball is on the ground.
Yeah, the ball is on the ground.
They're going to say he caught it. No, now the other official is going to come in and say incomplete. But the bigger story is a lot of the Judson players frantically calling for the training staff again to come out, and they're very worried about their teammate there. They do wave the ball incomplete. He did have it for a moment in the air, but as he came down, he lost that ball. So correction on the call was made. But now the focus is on that Judson receiver.
I think Judson had a new quarterback there, too.
19? Yeah, that would be Chris Perez. There you go. Out of Chicago, a transfer in from Carthage, a sophomore.
Yeah, he threw that last pass. Is that 3 or 4 quarterbacks used by
according to the stat sheet, it's 3. Aiden Edwards played the first drive. Then Odom came in, John Odom the senior, and now we're seeing Chris Perez, the sophomore out there. Seeing what they got. Reeves, Stroja, and Thelasimi along the defensive front here for St. Francis on a 3rd down and 3. Snap back to Perez, hand off to Harrelson. He'll go to the right side, cut it back up. The numbers should be, they marked him a yard shy, and I think they may have shaved off 2 yards. I thought Harrison Hanna had a nice first down run there, but they mark him a yard shy.
Unless they're saying that's where his knee touched down.
That'll bring up 4th down and 1.
4th and a yard to go for the first down.
5 minutes left to play in the game. All St. Francis 37-0.
Stories, the defense, and the takeaways as they attempt to set a new record for fewest yards allowed and points allowed in a season. Here we go on 4th down.
Delay of game. Delay of game.
Yep,
delay
it's at 0.
Yep, there it is. Delay of game.
It was a delay of game 3 seconds before they blew the whistle.
Surprised Judson didn't take a timeout there. What did he say?
I love it.
Oh! Now we got a 15-yard penalty following the play.
The play was over. Unsportsmanlike contact. Number 66. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
So it was 4th and 1 a minute ago. Add 2 flags to that. It's now going to be 4th and 20. 4:35 to go in the game. We talked about penalties today as well. Now 8 penalties for Judson.
They're going to have to punt, obviously, here.
4th down.
9 penalties for St. Francis for 74 yards. So even with those 2 penalties equating 20 extra yards, St. Francis still out-penalized.
Alessio Battaglia back deep for the Saints this time. Stands at his own 35.
Sophomore, guess where he's from? Another Willowbrook High School product.
St. Francis, what would that be? Northeast.
Stutter step and nearly blocked.
Oh,
they're going to get a running into the kicker. That was pretty weak. Yeah. Still not going to be enough for a first down.
Please don't tell me that was a roughing the kicker.
It's definitely not roughing. It's going to be a running into. Oh! He barely touched his pinky toe.
Number 90, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at Joe.
To the ground. That doesn't mean anything. Coach, get him back.
His microphone is still on as the referee yells at Coach Curry.
But he drilled him. It was enough to...
This official is, I'm sorry, he's struggling.
Personal foul.
It's not nearly enough for a personal foul. I wonder, his mic is still on, I think.
Oh, jeez. How can you not hear yourself when the mic is on? Come on. You know what it's time for?
What's that?
This game to end.
Yeah. Hey, no such thing as, bad football time. We still got 4 minutes of football, which is better than 4 minutes of no football.
Oh,
that's what I think. I've never seen an official yell at a coach with the microphone on.
Oh, he did it with the player, too.
Yeah. The player yelled at him with the microphone on, which was a different kind of funny.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to see here.
Like we said, the last game of the year. It's almost like Halloween.
First down for Judson. That was a crazy 3 penalties. Here's the blitz by St. Francis. Can they get to Perez?
Oh, Mackay Van, and there's a fumble.
And the ball comes out. Looks like St. Francis jumped on it. Delasimi jumps on that one. Say, you know what? That's called playground justice is what they call that.
Playground justice.
St. Francis will take the ball back with their 7th takeaway.
Wow.
If my math
might
is
be
correct.
a record. I think that might be a record.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interceptions, and that is the 3rd.
So that's
8 takeaways by St. Francis today. 4:16 to play in the season. The offense back on the field. This is from the 29-yard line? Keep an eye out for number 3. Des Jordan wide right. See if the safeties keep an eye on him because we are right in that wheelhouse for Des Jordan to score a touchdown. There's the snap to Carl. Looking down the middle. Nothing there. Steps up and runs. Gets rid of it, but it was, nearly caught on the outside by Friddle. That was a desperation pass as Carl Bew was going to the ground, and Friddle almost slid underneath it. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10. I still think you got to give Des Jordan a look here. Des only has 1 catch today for 35 yards. It did go for 6. And he's already yelling at Carl, hey, take a look over here.
It's one-on-one coverage right now.
Yeah, safeties are just stepping in here. Friddle motions to the left side of the line. Play action. Carl's looking. He's going to fire down the middle. It is complete to Dan Getch. Here comes a flag. 2 flags. 3 flags. Everyone throw your flags. It's a first down as it sits.
Might have been face mask on Dan actually.
Yeah, illegal hand to the face.
Number 21, Daniel Getch.
Getch caught it and took it to the 10. So it's about a 20-yard play, but the entire officiating crew will stand at the 10-yard line to discuss. Pretty much every zebra on the field threw their flag on that play. I think Dan got his fingers into those face mask bars a little bit. I told you they're going to need the lights.
I mean, look at how long he's taken just to make the call. Make the call.
Still waiting. Then he's getting the number. Here we go. Yep. Oh, it's going to be a face mask on the defense.
Legal hands to face. Offense, number 21. Those penalties offset. Repeat 2nd down.
So it was a face mask on Judson, but also an illegal hand to the face by Dan Getch. Offset, redo the play.
You know what time it is.
Yeah, it's time for 2nd down and 10. Let's go. I mean, you get something new every single play. This is fantastic. What else are we going to see? 2nd down and 10 from the 29 here for St. Francis. Here's Carl at the snap, steps up in the pocket. He's going to fire it to the end zone, looking for Tumulty, I believe, but I think it was intercepted. It was picked off by Harrison Hanna, who's playing both ways for Judson today. He's going to get the interception. Or no, I'm sorry, the safety, Jalen Ware, the senior, his 2nd interception of the game. The other number 1, a couple double numbers here for Judson, my favorite thing in the universe. 3:47 to go. That is another giveaway by St. Francis. Their 2nd, I think. Third. So we are now at 11 turnovers combined in the game. Combined with 18 penalties. I'd say going out on a high note, I'm not sure this would qualify for that. I mean, it's a win, so I guess that's a high note.
Sergio Garcia in the lineup now for the Saints along that interior front line. Seeing if there's anybody else. It looks like it's Ryan Bannis still out there.
Chris Perez takes a snap, but he gives. Smith goes to the outside of the 25 to pick up 5 yards. Remains inbounds. Did anyone call a timeout yet?
No.
Okay.
And I tell you what, the other reason why, this game is getting a little bit.
Yeah, it could get hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you don't want to see anybody get hurt in the last 3 minutes of the 2023 season.
Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5 coming up at the 25 for the Judson Eagles, trying to make a little bit of offense here, maybe trying to put a point on the board before it's all said and done. Final 3 minutes of the regular season. There's a snap bit low, but Perez handles. He's going to step up in the pocket and now run. They lost contain on him. He'll pick up a 1st down, but he's not going to slide. He'll take it up to the 40. So the Lasimi with the tackle. Did I get that right?
Yep.
All right. That was the hardest one of the year.
It'll be a first down.
Under 3 minutes to play. Saints still posting that shutout. Looking to tie a school record with 3 shutouts on the year.
2.5 minutes to play in the game. 4 wide receivers. There's the snap. Perez has to hurry. Here comes pressure, and they get to him. Telasimi the first. They're still on his feet. They finally blow it dead.
We have a sack by number 44, Rory Thazuzmi.
Roby Thelasimi came in with 3 tackles for a loss and just a half a sack, but I believe he just picked up 2 on back-to-back plays.
And here comes, let's see, the Saints are all pumped up. Brandon Harry, redshirt freshman, coming into the lineup.
Creek Moni.
Excited for him.
Getting all the defensive linemen a little playing time here. Perez, empty backfield. Fires it quickly. It is caught, but tackled immediately by Matthew Perry. Did not even get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be a pickup of 6.
This is good to number 13, Damian Mueller.
94 seconds to play in the game.
Will Brandow checks in. His cornerback on the far side.
It's all about the turnovers today, both sides. 3rd down and 12 here for Judson. 65 seconds to go in the game. Saints will rush their 3 defensive linemen. Perez fires to the outside, incomplete. Way to knock that away by Alan Richards.
And the turnovers were not apple or cherry.
No. Bad kind of turnovers.
Incomplete. 2nd down.
Under a minute to go. Clock stops on the incomplete pass here on 4th down. They're going to punt it away. Jalen Cooper is going to stand back to return it. Why not? The kicker will have the wind at his back. We'll see if Cooper can field it. And
he pushed up his pants so that the knee pads would not get in the way if he had to return it.
You don't want those to get in the way. They'll hinder your speed. I know all about that. Good snap. Who handled a little bit. And there's going to be a penalty on Keemon Reese. He says he blocked it. Oh, and he's right. He convinced the official of it, so it was downed. But was it touched now by a receiver? Was it touched by one of the St. Francis return men? They say no. So there was a collision between Keemon Reese and the punter.
And he had to tell the referee that time.
There was no foul on the play. The ball was tipped before the contact. 1st down.
Credit to the official for, not being too proud to be incorrect with the flag. So I appreciate that, getting the call right. It'll be St. Francis ball at their own 44-yard line with 47 seconds to go. Let's see who comes out at quarterback here.
Just down the ball.
And Michael Johnson. Okay, they're going to go into victory formation here.
Please.
Who's going to take the snap? Oh, Carl Bue's out there. Okay. Saints in the victory formation here
Curtis
at midfield.
Reed's going to take the snap.
I thought so, but I thought Carl's there.
Oh,
they're going to hand it to Mike Johnson. His first carry. All the way up to the 31-yard line. The Saints bench is going to go crazy. I thought it was Mike.
I think it was it Peyton Bogie?
Yeah, you're right. They gave it to Bogie, number 73.
Peyton's a great kid, too. Works hard.
He's going to be in at running back again for the final 25 seconds. Actually, fullback. Peyton Bogie, the fullback. Mike Johnson, the tailback.
Johnson this time.
Yep. No,
fumble.
No, he fumbled it. Mike Johnson's probably livid right now. They're going to call a timeout with 12 seconds to go.
That's going to be it.
Oh, that's not. Yep. Well, Peyton Bogie got a carry. Couldn't get Mike Johnson his touch, but that's all right. That's going to take us to 0-0. Your final here in the final game of the season. It wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a win, 37-0, the third shutout of the season for the Saints, which is a record. The St. Francis defense only has allowed 143 total points. That is a new program record for points allowed in a season. And as far as yards go, they only let up 161 yards today. So you're about 2,500 or so. Yeah, 2,500 yards, which is also a new program record for yards allowed in a season. You are looking at the stingiest defense that St. Francis has ever put on a football field in terms of points and yards allowed.
Might have set a record for most takeaways in one game.
Today they had 2, 4, 5, and 3 fumbles, so 8 takeaways today for the St. Francis defense as well. So congratulations to the Saints. I know they would have much rather be playing for a conference championship and looking toward the playoffs. Didn't work out that way. Injuries played a huge part in that, but they do end the season with a 37-0 win. They win their 7th game of the year, go 7-3, which puts them in terms of record as one of the better teams in St. Francis program history as well. There's nothing about this season that you can really shake your head at or be too down about.
Yeah, just a couple tough breaks, and that's going to happen in football. And
literally,
some years it goes your way, and the Saints have had some great success over the past 3 years. 7 wins, 6 wins, and a lot of great players. You're going to be losing. I know there's about a dozen or a little bit more. You see Jalen Cooper playing for the last time in his career. A bunch of other guys, but quality year and a quality program with Joe running it.
Absolutely, they go 3-3 in the conference. Again, their only losses in that Olivet game. I think you wiped that out of everyone's memory. That was an anomaly. The 2 losses before that: a 1-point loss to St. Xavier in overtime, and a 4-point loss to Roosevelt. So. Your 2 biggest losses, the 2 most important ones, were just a combined 5 points, really. So, pretty incredible game there. Roosevelt and St. Xavier playing for the conference championship right now. Just started their second half. They're still tied at 14. I encourage you, if you are a MSFA football fan or a NAIA football fan, to flip over to that game being produced by the Roosevelt squad over there. So, that's going to be a fun one to watch as well. Big win for the Saints here tonight. 37-0 over Judson to wrap up the 2023 regular season on a high note. Congratulations to Coach Curry and all those players in the brown and gold on another fantastic season, ending 7-3.
And thanks to you, Nick, and everybody back in our studio. Great job by Matthias and all the crew. Alex, leading the group, trying to get pregame, halftime, postgame. Great coverage all year, along with Jake DiLorenzo. Braden Kidd, I think, was involved as well. But also, Nick, thanks to you and Coach Dan Sharp. You guys present a great package every week, home and on the road. You do an incredible job with your homework throughout the week and create a great broadcast for everybody to listen to and to listen back. I know a lot of the guys listen back, and that's because of the job that you do. So thank you, Nick.
My pleasure, and Brendan and Jessica as well. Our TV production crew during those home games make us look a lot better than we are. So we appreciate everyone involved. We will see you next year. Oh, by the way, the girls are playing right now. The girls basketball team playing against Marion. They're down right now in the second quarter, but go Saints on the hardwood as well. Keep tabs on everything Saints related at GoFightingSaints.com. Again, your final here in Streamwood, the final game of the season. It's a win, 37-0 over Judson. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and happy Veterans Day.
This is the Sports Saturday post-game show with your host, Matthias Warner.
Yes, we are back here. Me and Joe, Matthias Warner and Joseph Medea here on WCSF Joliet 88.7 FM from the University of St. Francis. You just got done listening to Judson take 0 points. 0 points in that second half. USF put up 7 to give us the 37-0 final. And Joe, I know you're glad that game's over.
Oh, I am. It was too long.
Sloppy second half.
Yeah. Just little mistakes here and there that kind of extended the game a little more. But just how they alluded to, that means just more football to watch, longer football time. So
yeah,
I think it was I think it was all right. I think it was all right.
Yeah, the Saints, they put up the touchdown, got more turnovers, but really a sloppy second half. They got out to that big lead in the first half, so that didn't really come back to bite them. But just wish they would have come out more aggressive and more kind of alert in that second half. But last game of the season, got mentioned it, one of the best in program history, but still, compared to preseason expectations, not exactly where this team hoped they would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Beginning of the season looked great. Middle season was rough, and then luckily they were able to secure a shutout victory for their final game of the 2023 season.
Yeah, program-defining victory, really. I mean, fewest amount of points, fewest amount of yards.
143 points allowed this entire season. That's 14.3 points a game, which is amazing.
And they were able to do that even with amongst some of the injuries that Dave mentioned that the Saints defense had to overcome. Yeah. Injuries just kind of got in the way for the Saints. Sam at quarterback.
Yeah, wrong time for injuries. Wrong time in the middle of the season where those conference games really mattered.
Yeah, well, they were able to come back and deliver a resounding victory, 37-0. Joey Tumulty had the sole touchdown in that second half. Turnovers, more interceptions from Jared King. I was blanking on his name at the half, but it was Jared King.
Jared King.
He had another interception.
Ran for about 15 yards, I'm pretty sure.
15 yards?
Yeah. Both his interceptions he ran for 39, so props to him. For,
good job, Jared.
Defense today looked absolutely incredible for the Saints.
Yeah, and it really reminded us why we had so much hope coming into the season. This is a defense that, not even this, I mean, you couldn't expect 8 turnovers, but if any unit was going to do it, this Saints defense was going to be able to. But sloppy second half, turnovers, penalties, even the officiating, Joe, you didn't really mince words when you were talking about the officials.
Oh, yeah, the kick, the roughing the kicker.
Yeah, Coach Curry agrees with you on that one.
That was just like they alluded to in the play calling. It was he barely touched his pinky toe. That was nothing. Man flopped. I'm sorry. Man flopped. And he almost did it a second time. He flopped.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean,
you're down 37-0. You got to do whatever you can to put points on the board, but they did not.
Yeah, no. They had a healthy mixture of starters and people lower on the depth chart come in. Saw the quarterback, John Odom. He left the game. Chris Perez came in. So Judson they were well aware of what was going on.
Yeah, it was
really hoping for better output, especially after the game 2 or 3 weeks ago where they put up 26 points, but just not in the cards for them today. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with you for the rest of the Sports Saturday postgame show. Right now,
Read up on all things Fighting Saints and USF at usfencounter.stfrancis.edu. Stay tuned throughout the game for the Sports Saturday halftime and postgame shows hosted by Matthias Warner, right here on Saints Radio WCSF. This is the Sports Saturday post-game show with your host, Matthias Warner.
Yes, we're back. I'm here with Joseph Medea. Joe, looking at that Judson game, the Saints, that was their final game of the season, wrapping up the 2023 campaign. If there's anything that from this game that you think the Saints can take with going into the offseason and into next season, what do you think it is?
Honestly, I think Carl Buke stepping up this year when Sam was injured.
Only a freshman.
Yeah, freshman from Joliet West High School. He's from around the area, so he stepped in. He got his he won his first game, right? First game he started, he won. He looked absolutely incredible today, throwing 3 passing touchdowns, rushing for 2. He rushed for 95 yards, only threw for 128, and went 6 for 17 with 2 interceptions.
Still, throwing was not really a focal point today.
Yeah, it was all between both games. It was a run game. I mean, Judson had 49 attempts. We had 26.
Yeah, it was a big blow for them when Nigel Bruce went down with that right ankle injury in the third quarter.
Yeah, sadly, Bruce rushed for 19 attempts for 70 yards, averaged 2.7 to carry. His long was a 19, but yeah, once he got injured with the right ankle injury, it was pretty much done at that point for the game. For all Judson's hopes and dreams of possibly coming out on top and winning.
They might have even lost their most faithful believer in Joseph Medea.
Yep. Sadly,
Not exactly 34-28 Judson.
I did take Judson based off of we putting in our second strings and third strings to give him a chance. But I went 9-1 on the season.
You did. Good job, Joe.
For calling games. Best one out of the Sports Saturdays here in our crew. 9-1. Sadly, I couldn't get that easy, undefeated 10-0 season this year.
It's okay. I think you'll live.
Yeah. Over and unders weren't my specialty, though. I took the over in every game. But yeah. Judson, 0 points. St. Francis, 37.
So the defense, then? You're looking more forward to the defense?
Defense today was fantastic. I mean, yeah, it's Judson, their third year as a football team, so they're still working everything out and everything, trying to get more players in and seeing who's the best, and
including the schedule.
Like
a lot of fluctuation with that.
Yeah, schedule as well. I mean, they did take 26 points for them when we faced them.
Yeah, a lot more success on offense.
3 weeks ago, last week, their offense was there for that game. This game, our defense just completely showed up and shut them out. I mean, our D-line was going after the quarterback, just going through the O-line easily, having Odom scramble almost every passing attempt. So that's why they just tried to go for Bruce in the run game. That didn't work out. That kind of did work out in the second quarter.
They're definitely finding more success with that.
Mm-hmm. And opposed to the passing game this game, but our defense was just on top, even though there were a few penalties here and there.
Yeah, this wasn't their best outing, but
yeah, it wasn't their best. It wasn't their worst. I think it was one of the better ones this year.
You'll take 8 turnovers whenever you can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, our D-backs and everything. I mean, Cooper, King, 2 interceptions for both of them. Nick Francis, I don't know how to say his last name.
Franciscovich.
That guy, Nick, also had a interception the game, and I think Judson fumbled twice, so easy 10 or 8 turnovers for the St. Francis defense today, and it got him points. I mean, also the offense punted twice today. They punted at the very beginning of the game and at the very beginning of the third quarter. I mean, it was a good day.
I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous when that happened. They came out and they sacked Carl 3 times in a row to start.
In a row, and then they punted immediately, and I'm like, okay.
Might have a ball game, but
okay, and nope. That got shut down quick.
But yeah, no, good way to send out the seniors of this fine program. All right, just a reminder that later on in the future for other USF athletics, women's basketball plays Wednesday night at 7 at Viterbo University. Men's basketball follows that up Thursday night at St. Edward's, and cross country, both the men's and women's cross country teams. We wish them the best of luck as they compete this Friday at the NAIA National Championships. Joe, anything else before we wrap?
Let's hope for playoff contention next year.
Yes,
with the fresh team, a lot of seniors. I think about a dozen or so. They've said are leaving. So
some key contributors, but a lot of opportunities for other players.
I'm excited for next year, especially on the quarterback situation.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see as the offseason unfolds. Well, thank you, folks, for joining us here on 88.7 WCSF Joliet. We're going to get back to the regularly scheduled programming, but thank you for listening, and always, to Sports Saturday. Stay tuned for the basketball season. We're going to be doing a lot with that, Joe.
Yeah, and after that, baseball season.
And baseball season. So you are home for all of USF athletics as WCSF Joliet 88.7 FM. Any veterans you want to shout out on this Veterans Day?
My dad, my grandpa, and my uncle Mike, all veterans. My grandpa was in the Army, and my dad and his brother were in the Marines for 8 years, all of them. So, to all the veterans out there, thank you for your service. Thank you for fighting for his country. And to all the fallen veterans, thank you.
Yeah, well put, Joe. Just want to say My uncle served in the Air Force, thinking of him today. But from me, Matthias Warner, Joe Medea, and our entire Sports Saturday crew, we're going to wish you a happy Veterans Day weekend, everybody.
One Saturday I took a walk to Zipperhead. I met a girl there and she almost knocked me dead. Punk rock girl, please look at me. What do you see? Let's travel around the world, just you and me, punk rock girl. I tapped her on the shoulder and said, do you have a bell? She looked at me and smiled and said she did not know. Punk rock girl, give me a chance. Let's go slam dance to a dress like Minnie Pearl, just you and me, punk rock girl. We went to the Philly Pizza